ChairShot Podcast, episode 746. Oh, 746 was it? Homer Simpson, I got a special delivery for you. It's episode 746 of the ChairShot. Why was that of all the references I went with? Why was that the one? Episode 746 of the ChairShot Podcast is here on this sweltering bank holiday Monday. If you're in the UK, me and Paul waiting one more week for our banker. We'll see if this absolutely rock-splitting weather holds up. Until then, I'm one of your hosts, Barry, coming from a really unbearably hot room with 3 computers in it on top of the heat. Joined as always by my ever-dependable co-host. First of all, we got Mr. Paul.
Oh no! Who's that then? Is that?
That's
someone from the later seasons. I wouldn't worry about it. And rounding us out is Joe.
Hello.
that was the yogurt Carl Pilkington spoke to 20 years ago.
It's me.
It's funny. It is episode 746. I didn't put this on the rundown, but I did 100% Simpsons hit and run this week.
Nice.
Which is something I'd never done. That is a game chock full of references. I also, for the first time in the 24-ish years that game is out, it has a little hidden. 90% of the jokes in that game are just repurposed from the TV show. It has a little original Itchy and Scratchy cartoon hidden in it. If you find a certain collectible, all of a certain collectible, you get a little bonus original Itchy and Scratchy cartoon, and it ties into this week where the in real life where the enhanced games are going on, because basically it's Itchy and Scratchy doing an Olympic 500-yard sprint, and Scratchy takes loads of steroids, and then he has a heart attack right at the finish line. Which is the joke there, which has not happened yet. Have you seen this? Have you seen the enhanced games? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of funny because it feels like it's passing with very little fanfare, because it turns out that's shit actually if you do it in practice.
Also, you can't really tell much difference. Then like, what?
I want to see him ejecting. I want to see him shooting off.
It's not like they explode at the finish line. It's just they run like. And they do it slightly slower than the Olympians.
Yeah,
the drugs. Like what are you really seeing? Like, I wouldn't watch athletics anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The fact that they're juiced up doesn't really help. If I'm watching my wrestling, yes, obviously I want all the lads.
But that's kind of the thing.
Juicing.
I want it to look completely absurd, like when you watch early UFC and it's a big fat man versus a little fella.
Yeah.
I want to turn on the hammer throw, and it's like someone Vince would push for like 2 or 3 house show loops in 1992, before you realize, oh, this guy's shit, actually I can't even do this, and I want him to try and throw the hammer, and it's just so abysmal. It goes into the crowd and kills 3 people, and like, it's I want it to be that level of farcical, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, because some of them look like bodybuilders. It's like real athletes don't look like bodybuilders, because you can't run or move. A lot of athletes look like, they don't even look like athletes, really. You kind of just got weirdly like Michael Phelps. He's just got those alien arms and legs and a 8-foot-long torso. Like, it's not steroids that are going to help him. It's just the fact that he's built like a fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what Luke Littler doesn't look like a Greek god.
I'd love to see the enhanced darts. That would be...
Can they get much better? I mean, that's the question.
No limit on how much booze they're allowed to drink.
Maybe they're already enhanced. We wouldn't know.
Actually, we wouldn't know, would we? Yeah. We got a loaded show for you listeners. Obviously, we delayed the show somewhat so we could get our double or nothing Pape review in here. Huge show. So we're going to talk about that there in just a couple of moments. We'll get our kind of brief life guff out of the way here first, I think, before we jump into that. We have a whole lot here. It's hot, as I said. It's really fucking goddamn hot in Ireland, which I'm not going to complain about because it's been miserable all year. This show is coming to you via some new internet on my end here. I got new internet installed today. Nice. Very exciting. Switching internet's actually really easy these days, because I was putting this off for ages. I didn't realize that, like, when you're out of contract, you call up your new lads and they sort out the cancellation with the old lads for you. So I was like, I didn't really have to do anything. So that's good. Got that done today. Other than that, it's been a quite enough week on my end. What about you boys? How's life going, Joe? You've been out and about a lot lately. How's your week been?
I've been out and about. It's very sad. Yesterday and today, pretty quiet just because of the heat. Like, I was just like, I'm not doing anything. I just have to sit still with a fan on. But Friday we did go to Birmingham. First time I've ever been up there to what some call the UK's second city after London. I'll be honest, I think Manchester's probably prefer. So yeah, Birmingham, it was quite nice. So we met up with it. It was a work friend of Michelle's that lives up there. So we met her and her husband. They were very nice. Had a quite fun time. Just kind of a bit of a walk around. We did go to a museum and then just eating and seeing the city. Birmingham's quite interesting. It was obviously it was boiling hot, which was nice because it meant everyone was out and it was just sunny. It was also Birmingham Pride, which kind of made it very busy. Ooh. And it also gave a really good vibe, like lots of people kind of milling around and just a good kind of atmosphere. The gays know how to have a good time, so it's always useful. So Birmingham, it's a strange city because it has some really nice sides to it, but I'll be honest, also a bit of a shithole. I'll just say it's kind of like one of those things. If they just tidied it up a bit, I think basically the council that run the city have just been useless for about 100 years. So there's just constantly half the pavement's dug up in the city centre, and it's been like that apparently for a year. And it's just the bins haven't been emptied for 12 months because there's been a bin strike for a year, and it's just a bit a lot of it's quite grotty. But you look at it and you think, God, this could be a great city if they just fucking got their act together and sorted it out. So that's probably true of a lot of England, to be honest. We just kind of have let it gradually sort of deteriorate over the last 40 years since old Margaret Thatcher was in office. But you never know. Maybe they'll pick it up. But yeah, I did enjoy Birmingham. We also went to a very, very good Irish pub in Birmingham. I didn't really know, but I think it was apparently one of the biggest Irish communities certainly in the UK. Oh, really? Maybe. Yeah. I didn't really know that about Birmingham, but a very big Irish community in Birmingham historically. Apparently they had one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day parades, I think, outside of Ireland or maybe the US. But yeah, we went to this Irish pub called Norton's, and it wasn't it was proper kind of Irish pub, they had the Celtic game on, of course. Bit of hurling. Was there hurling on at the moment? Maybe it was Gaelic football.
Yes, there was hurling.
It was hurling. Past couple of days, yeah. And yeah, had a few pints of Guinness. That was nice. I think the best bit was once the football finished, they had massive screens everywhere. The football finished and they started running ads for music night on Friday and this night and blah, blah, blah. And they advertised a spice bag pizza. Which I was like, I wish I'd got a photo of this ad because I can't remember the wording underneath, but it was something like
toilets for patrons only or something.
It was under the way they described this pizza. It was another gimmick that's fecking delicious. Something like that. Oh my God, it was brilliant. It was it's not on the menu, just ask at the bar. And I was right. Brilliant. Get the secret menu spice bag pizza. Really wish we'd been able to get that, but yeah. So that was a really really nice pub, a few burgers, and then home. And it's quite easy. It's only about an hour from London, Birmingham, so it's really nice little trip. So yeah, fun day out, and then just sweating since then. Really, that's been most of it. I'm watching Double or Nothing.
It's taking up takes up the whole day. AEW Pape Day. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, lots of news on my side. So first of all, the laptop, which I normally use for recording this little son of a bitch, was working fine. And then I went to put the plug in, the power. Ooh, plug does not go in anymore. Socket damaged.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I went across. There's a power shop, I was going to call it. There's a computer repair shop across the road. I took the laptop there, and your man had a look at it and said, yeah, it's broken. So what we can do is we'll take it, and it costs €25 for us to just look at it.
What? That's outrageous.
That's to do the diagnostics, he said. I was like, mate, the diagnostic is done. Don't let's cut that out, shall we? So €25 before anything. And then he said, they'll probably have to order in a part for it. So the part's probably going to be 70 or whatever. So what I ended up doing is I said, okay, I still have the laptop here. So I don't know if in the future it can be somehow revived, whatever. But I said, let's get for the time being a cheap laptop because, we were all young, we were all naive. And when we buy a new laptop, we think, I want the fucking best laptop that can run 80 applications at once and plays all the best games. And I've done that. Even no, these are not bad points, obviously. But the last laptop, I got that, and then I don't fucking use it for any of those things. All I do on it really is the old CSP, download the odd television or whatever, and that's basically it. So, why spend 500 quid on a machine with all the bells and whistles when really all I need is a handful of bells and maybe one whistle? So I went into Power City and I was looking at some of their cheaper options, and I got a Acer Aspire laptop for €239. Which is still a lot of money, but for a laptop is comparatively
manageable.
Not too bad. So here I am. Otherwise, we would have had Double or Nothing come and go, and I would not have been able to join to record the podcast. It would have been a Joe and Barry show. And since I have the login to the thing, I don't know how they would have done that. But anyway, we're here. We got it going. So this laptop, anyway, I've turned it on. I've installed all the updates. I've installed all my little applications. It is like, performance-wise, jumping back into like 2009.
Oh no!
It's like my laptop I had when I was in college. But again, I don't need it to be super good. All I needed to do is the bare minimum. So if it can do the bare minimum, I'm happy. We'll see when the real
podcast tagline
test. The real test is when I'm editing the podcast. So let's see how that goes. But so far so good. The other utility related story I have is no, it's not Dwayne Johnson's MMA epic. It's the washing machine.
What?
Michael, I got a new washing machine in. Thank you very much. Nice. That's why you paid the big bucks for me. I got a new washing machine in, and they took the old one away, which is very nice. Because here's the thing, I don't know if I talked about this before, but the washing machine that came with the apartment, when we bought the place, there was some utilities that were kind of like left behind by the previous owner, including a washing machine. We were like, oh, class, washing machine, great. But the washing machine would run really hot no matter what temperature you selected. And so some of the t-shirts and stuff, that like, especially football jerseys, some of the patterns like melted off them. It was running too hot. So we got a new washing machine, and got delivered on Thursday, and we gave away the old one, got the new one, put it in, and the area where it goes, I guess the previous washing machine was slightly smaller. You can see where I'm going with this. It was such a tight fit to go in. Like, it was really jammed, because we have a count. So we have a little storage room where it goes, like a little utility room. And there's a counter that goes across the room, I would say 4.5 feet off the floor, give or take. Big, thick wooden counter. So the washing machine was underneath that. This washing machine was like jammed into it now. So there's no give at all between the floor and the counter. So I put the wash on, first wash, and I go, isn't the washing machine lovely and quiet? It's amazing. And then hell started being unleashed, and my God. So on top of this counter, I have my freezer, because I don't have a fridge freezer. I have a fridge and a freezer. Again, like it's the old days. And the freezer, like, it had juddered so much that the freezer was like nearly come off the counter. That's how bad it was. So it was like a jet engine taking off. So we just in the 10 minutes, so I was 5 minutes late for this recording. That's because my friend came over and we were literally taking that wooden countertop out of the room, like unscrewing it off the walls so that the washing machine can go back in and not be jammed between concrete and wood. I think washing machines, I'm no washing machine expert, don't get me wrong. If you are coming to this podcast looking for washing machine know-it-alls, you're coming to the wrong place. But I think a washing machine has to have a certain amount of space around it, right? For it to do its little juddering and its little, what it's doing to spin and that.
Yeah.
So again, this washing machine had none of that. So that was. I'm hoping that's what the problem is. We haven't done a second test run yet, but I'm hoping the second test run will be a little bit quieter. Also, here's a story that I think you guys will get a bit of a kick out of. What was I taking out? Oh, the laptop box. So the laptops come in a box, right?
Go on. Okay, interesting. Go on.
So I was taking the box out to the bins, the communal bin shed. And as I turn the corner, what do I see? It's a little child with a water pistol.
Oh, no.
No.
They're back.
Could this day get any freaking worse?
The kid points the water pistol at me.
Oh my God. This is what a payoff this is after all these years.
It's like American History X. Kids come back at the end.
And time slows and my eyes narrow like Clint Eastwood. And I said, kid, if you spray me with that, you are not going to like what happens.
And in response, he said,
No. This was like a little, okay, picture in your mind's eye. How would I?
A 4-year-old. Go on.
The Rizzler.
Okay, is that supposed to make you sound better? What?
Was he
He's got a Riz face.
You fucking rizzed up. You got fucking rizzed up.
But anyway, there was no spraying, right? I walked past. Mutual understanding, mutual respect, I think, between me and this small child. But then there's another kid comes around the corner, and he says,
AJ, I believe his name is, yeah.
Big Justice. He says, can I spray you with this?
What? At least he's asking.
At least he asked permission. I say, no.
No.
So I went to the bins, put the laptop in, the box in the bin, and I'm walking back, and I see the kid who asked me, he's spraying nothing in particular, and the other kid has disappeared. The first one who didn't ask, but looked like he was going to spray me. And as I walk past, he's hiding in a bush, and he fucking sprays me, the cunt.
Absolutely mogged.
Gotcha.
Absolutely fucking mogged. Oh my God.
So he got me. I got. What's that? A payoff 12 years in the making.
Yeah.
Finally.
Karma.
The revenge. I know. Let me be free of water pistols from now on, please.
For any new listeners who weren't listening back in the day, basically, have you ever seen that spot, listeners, in AEW where the Rizzler goes up to the big heel and does the Rizzler thing, and then the heel like shoves him down? Imagine that, but if instead of shoves him down, it was like that comic book where Joker beats Robin to death with a crowbar. That's what Paul did about a decade ago and discussed it on this podcast. But
much embellished and exaggerated since then.
That's true. He did not have his Joker makeup on. He was actually the origin story.
I only laughed like the Joker.
Alrighty.
Anyway, so that's my week. And also,
go on.
Also, the footy is over. I don't remember, Joe, if we did a prediction thing this year, but I couldn't find the file.
I don't think you did. I don't think you did do one.
It's a draw.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
Tottenham survived. Alas, no comedy for us.
Yeah.
West Ham go down. Fernandez won the world title with a dusty finish. Whether I wasn't looking and actually hit the crossbar and hit the keeper on the hand, and everyone went,
that'll do.
Okay, it's fine. Go on, you can't. It's definitely an own goal, by the way. So, not to be a party pooper, it was a fucking own goal. Yeah, it was a fun little last weekend.
I thought it was a really good final day. Yeah, it was almost like everyone was celebrating, even though, I mean, West Ham, apart from West Ham, but like Spurs stayed up. United were happy because they're in third and Bruno got the record. City were sending off Pep. Liverpool was sending off Salah. Arsenal won the league. You had Brentford, Brighton, and Sunderland all get into Europe, which is amazing. Liverpool got Champions League. It was like, everyone's it's like one of those weekends. Everyone was kind of happy apart from West Ham, really. So I quite enjoyed it.
I particularly like Sunderland's players in a huddle looking at someone's phone.
Yeah,
waiting
trying to work out permutations.
Are we in Europe? Yeah, that's great.
But the Pep era has come to an end finally. Our long national nightmare is over. And I think we'll see. We'll see how they transition. I think they'll still be strong, but it won't be like as elite as when Pep was in charge. Liverpool in transition. So yeah, I don't know. United, a couple of good signings. Let's see if they can actually build on this success.
And also the week, Joe, we had England's World Cup squad announced, seemingly. Names picked at random from a hat.
I don't know about that. People go mad whenever the England squad comes out. It's like, I don't get it at all, because like there's probably 40 players that could be in the squad and you pick 26, right? And it's like, oh my God, he even picked Lewis Hall. Is he fucking stupid? What is he doing, idiot? And it's like, if you pick like, I don't know, Eze or Foden, is that going to make much difference? Oh, you know what I mean?
I think it's more so the weird ones like Livramento, Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I think I really think his approach is picking a team. Like, he doesn't want the kind of egos, unless you're Kane.
Unless you're Bellingham.
Yeah, well, unless you're like, if you're really good, then you can kind of get away with that. But otherwise, I think he wants players that are just going to run and work for the team and not be sort of individuals. And I think Foden and Palmer, and even Maguire, they kind of fall into that of like, they slight ego thing there. And it's not like Foden's ever had a good game for England. Palmer's good, but he's been a bit off this season, a bit injured, maybe a little bit tired. Yeah, so I don't know. If you look at the most, like 90% of the squad or 80% of the squad is exactly what you'd expect. And it's only really like 5 or 6 players where you go, okay, Dan Burn, not Harry Maguire, or Henderson and not Wharton and things like that. But yeah, I think the actual starting 11 is pretty much what everyone would thought it would be, which is like Rashford, Saka, Kane, Rice, Anderson, Bellingham, Gahey, O'Reilly, Pickford, and then it's kind of just the other 2 defenders that you could debate, like Trent versus Reece or Stones, Maguire, Kwanzaa. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see.
As a neutral, it struck me as the first time in, I don't know, since 2018, where I wasn't like really impressed by the English squad in terms of, wow, look at all the talent England suddenly have. There's a lot of but you're right, on form, some of them absolutely deserve to be left out, but it's the first squad I've seen where I was kind of...
I prefer that. I think it's just maybe kind of the bar has been raised, because if you go back to like 2016, people will say, oh, this is the worst England squad in years. Look at the squad in 2016 or even 2018. Shit. Once you got past 3 or 4 good players, it was just nothing. But you look at this, you've got like Premier League champions, Champions League finalists, Champions League winner. Like, it is like there's a lot of talent in the starting 11. Once you get to the second 11, maybe it's not quite. But even then, like, you got Eze, you got like a Gordon who's a decent player. I mean, there's like, it's quite good players. I don't know. I don't think I think it's not as good, obviously, a squad that's as strong as like France, Spain, and Brazil, but like it's probably the 5th definitely 5th or 6th. Who?
There's a Dublin-born player in the Cape Verde squad, so I might have to support them. They'll be my little team.
Give them a go. I'm sure they do well. Yeah, but I don't mind.
There is an Irishman at the World Cup, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
You're not playing for Ireland, funny enough.
But you said he's at the World Cup. Yeah. Got it.
And of course, we have Villa won the Europa League. We have the Conference League final on Wednesday and the Champions League final on Wednesday. I know intellectually people say, look, Arsenal get an early goal. Arsenal are going to be able to shut up shop. You know what? I would love Arsenal to win. But something tells me Paris are just... I don't know. I just can't see any other. We will see, but something is telling me. I don't know whether it's my my heart or my brain or what is it? Or my arse or what is it?
I'm going to go Arsenal on penalties. How about that?
And how about that?
Arsenal on penalties. They'll just 0-0 it. Boring match. They get
Very
through. Declan Rice scores the winner. There you go. I'm going to put a bit of money on that. £3.
Alrighty. We will jump into the wrestling here. Be a lot of wrestling to talk about. Before we get into the show, I suppose one thing to talk about that did kind of shape the pay-per-view to a certain degree. Willow Nightingale injured, announced on Dynamite that she was injured in her match with Red Velvet on Collish. Sidebar, kind of weird that they didn't have her come out and say anything in front of the people. What was? Do you think that was odd?
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me, but now that you say it,
it would have been strange. Maybe she wasn't there. Maybe it was a pre-tape when they found out she was injured and she just taped that somewhere else. I don't know. That was odd. So out of the Owen and vacating the TBS. So obviously this is not just a shit, you're out for the pay-per-view, oh well situation. This is she's going to be out for an undetermined amount of time. And I assume this did creep up on AEW. It was unexpected, presumably in that Collision match, because they basically said, okay, so a wild card will face Alex Windsor now, but not on the pay-per-view. They obviously they were caught off guard enough by this enough that they couldn't throw together a wild card in time for the pay-per-view, because it was supposed to be Willow and Windsor on the show, but instead they've now pushed that to a non-specific time in the future, and they've moved Athena and Mina to the pay-per-view. All about Mindamin. So, bummer. Love Willow, obviously. A big loss there when you consider Tony already out as well. So, and Mercedes still in the wind. Heavy hitters out in this division right now.
You wonder as well if this is not only a wild card replacements, but maybe having to reconsider who's going to win this tournament.
Yeah. The women's side is weird.
The
women's side is weird because it's like I saw a couple of people speculate on that, but I just don't see her unifying nor attempting to unify, even if she lost in the title match. I just don't see her doing it. It just seems like a weird thing to do with Willow. But I will say I look at that bracket and I don't see a super clear winner unless, like we said, I think last week, unless you want to do something with Windsor. But yeah, I don't know. Very odd. Sad news and unfortunate news. The other big notable occurrence, I assume maybe we'll talk about the pre-show in a minute, is you had the big return of Eddie Kingston, which was funny because it felt like a return, like it felt like this was his actual return from injury, even though he's just been back and doing like shag all. Even though it was a pre-show segment and he's in there chasing off the Shane Taylor promotions, this kind of felt like a big enough thing where you kind of have to kind of stick the guy on Dynamite and do something with the fella.
I don't know.
He came out.
It felt more to me like a favor. Like, we're in New York, go Eddie out for a little pop.
It's very cynical, but I don't think you could. I think you could be spot on. I think that's fair.
Especially because promotions. They're going to have Ortiz and Eddie Kingston against Carly Bravo and Sean Dean. Ring of Honor where they belong.
I mean, they did make sure to point out when Eddie came out that it's Eddie and Ortiz and Mance Warner, who I don't even care about that whole.
No, I laughed, and
I was like, they made sure to indicate that they had just been taken out by Shane. They did some angle on Ring of Honor show nobody watched. They pointed out that those two had a match recently. I was like, ugh, where did that even air? What is that? Yeah. Anyway, I mean,
the pop was significant enough that maybe they would say, this guy, we got to figure something out for Eddie to do. Like he got injured, he came back, wasn't super impressive. He's done his penance, and we reintroduce him back in some way to the TV. I mean, look, the matches since he's come back, whatever, they're not been great. They're not been good. Let's not even say great. But he's such a personality that I do feel like he's this on TV.
Yeah,
he's on Collision, like some.
Yeah, because he's not even on Collision most weeks these days. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, let's throw out that original comeback, and let's see if we can go from here. Anyway, that aside, anything else of note on the pre-show? I did not watch. I did not really watch it other than the final 15 minutes.
The segment with Foley, MJF, and Darby.
Super.
So good.
Tremendous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird, though, because Foley, when he was just chatting with Renee, I was really concerned that he didn't know really what was going on in AEW, who people were. And then when that segment started, he just a switch went off in his brain and he just transformed into this promo maestro.
I think he's a bit nervous. He's not really like that type of guy, the sort of anchor, I don't know if he's already done that kind of thing much. So maybe it's quite tough, to do that. But I think
on SmackDown maybe the closest, right? Wait.
Which I think he famously,
once he got into promo mode, I was kind of a bit worried at first. He stumbled a bit, but then once he got into his flow, it was like,
I was a little bit worried that this would be the best show of my life.
Yeah, ever, or something along the lines he said. Yeah.
Maybe that.
I
think you're right. I think he came off nervous more so than anything. Yeah, I mean, he had Cage and Coke written on his fingers, so he wouldn't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Not how it made Christian.
That was good, yeah.
Lenny White, Carl Black on the other hand,
Coke White.
Christian Good.
But yeah, cutting that promo while also selling the shot to the balls. I mean, God bless Foley. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really gave it a kind of big time feel. Even though it was on top of where it already was in that great stadium. But yeah, really good.
Yeah, really top notch. Yeah, great. And again, like I said last week, I was just to cut him some slack on the other stuff. I don't have any interest in any of that shite anyway. Sitting around talking about who's going to win kayfabe matches. I couldn't give a fuck about any of that. I'm curious what his role is going to be going forward. Because you can't really do this every week. Nobody wants a GM. I mean, I don't think anyone wants a GM who watches this show regularly. Yeah. So maybe it's an occasional pop in and do a type of thing like this.
Maybe just for pay-per-views.
Pay-per-views and make an action figure and stuff like that. But yeah, he did very well. So that was that. Interesting thing to cap off the pre-show, a little interesting angle there to set up the main show. So
there was no big justice for.
No, but AJ did a little gig ski against the rules in New York. But he went to the commission and said, "Listen, brother, that doesn't work for me. I worked this territory 20 years ago. All right, do you hear me? All right, I'm running that freaking razor. I'm running it.
How are we still in 2026 at the whims of state athletic commission?
I know, it's so funny, isn't it? It's just one of those things you hear about. It's like America's bizarre.
But can't just be like, brother, this is not real.
It's a fucking book. Yeah, marks.
Yeah, it's like I was like, what's this play? Miss W. Shakespeare. Does he know there's a knife in his play? I mean, does he know that's happening? What's it? So she drinks poison. Well, no, that's against the law.
I assume you can't watch James Bond movies in New York.
Oh dear. Anyway, he said fuck him and he did it anyway. What? I don't even know what cut him. Was it the promotional juice? Was it someone they threw the juice in? Yeah. By the way, on the subject of whatever the fucking juice was that was sponsoring this show,
Savita Coco, 3.5 times more electrolytes than sports drinks. So
in a little window into how mind-numbing marketing is. At one point, right at the end of this segment, I believe it was segueing to the main show, Excalibur accidentally said "brought to you by," a normal thing to say, and then corrected himself because he was obviously told "fueled by." You have to say "fueled by" every time you mention the drink. I felt so fucking bad for the guy. It must be a nightmare having to do that shit.
God. It was like Spider-Man swinging into cinemas.
Yeah.
I was shocked that the VT Coco, whatever it was, didn't turn out to be someone in the costume.
Yes, yeah. He's like, yeah, that could have been Eddie Kingston.
You got to build to that. That'll be Wardlow next time. Forbidden Door.
So this was from the Louis Armstrong, was it stadium? Technically they called it Louis Armstrong Stadium. Yeah. Beautiful building, great set. They had the scaffolding, the New York scaffolding, and all the art and the street signs. It looked great, and I mean, in the conversation for I think the best live audience they've had, certainly in recent memory.
Fantastic.
14K, legitimate sellout, and rowdy all night. So well done, New Yorkers, well done. Show kicked off proper with Cage and Cope defeating FTR in the New York Street Fight I Quit match for the World Championship. Cage and Cope's tag team career on the line. And I must say this is multiple times on the trot now. I think I think maybe all of us have gone into this match with the usual Cope caveats of kind of having our reservations about him. But yet again, I thought this was absolutely awesome. I actually really loved this match. Helped by the atmosphere, I think, but I think generally it was great. It was hard hitting, it was nasty, it felt heated and hate filled, and there was very little tomfoolery. And I think they worked it with a real edge. What did you boys make of it?
With a real edge? Or a fake edge?
With a real Cope.
With a real Cope. Very, very good. Very good. Like, their best tag match ever, other than the ladder matches. It was kind of nasty, but without being ultra sort of violent. Good table spot. I mean, Stokely Hathaway doing the fucking table spot. Was not expecting that. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Really good. I thought kind of earned, the finish was good. I didn't mind Beth Phoenix coming in. It was a bit, last time she appeared, it was a little bit hokey. I think this worked.
And it was funny, she ran in to get injured last time, which was a bit silly.
Yeah. Kind of paid off that angle. When was that? Like 8 months ago? Feels like forever ago. Yeah, pretty good. And then them lifting the belts, really nice little moment. So,
what about you, PG?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Loved it. I typically don't like I Quit matches with the referees. Now, to be fair, again, AEW, even with this one, are more on the right side of how I like to do it. There wasn't a lot of referee going, "What do you say, Cope? What do you say, Cope? Come on, Cope."
That's a big difference maker, isn't it? If you do that after every move, that kills a match. Yeah, same as Last Man Standings. If you do a fucking 7 count after every move, I mean, it just kills the match.
Well, it's the thing of like, they say the referee, you shouldn't even be aware the referee is there. A good referee is not even noticed, But these kind of matches, if done improperly, the referee is like more prominent than the wrestlers almost. Some of Christian's retorts are very funny. I banged your mother.
No, that's great.
Good laugh.
Before doing that, going, I teasing a near fall. Teasing he was going to say. I was like, this guy is the greatest of all time. This guy is the greatest of all fucking time. I howled at that. I absolutely howled at that.
They had the big spike pile driver to the announce table on Cope, which was great. The Flame Tape mentioned callback, obviously, of Mick Foley's first show.
Yes,
Mick Foley, spot. I loved Beth coming out and getting immediately like booted into the steps.
Yeah,
very funny. I would like to see Beth get physical also with FTR. Not like in the future, but in this match, since the whole story was they took her out. I don't know if they could have done like a little triple move on them or something with Beth as well as Cage and Co. And then Spike, of course, fully expected an I Quit match with Cope where we were going to see Spike involved, and we did, of course. And it was actually, I thought, done really believably and well. Not quite to the Moxley level, but putting the thing into Dax's forehead and he quit. It was very well done.
Really great stuff. Yeah, so there you go. Cage and Cope. They got there in the end. They got to the tag title win at the end. And to be fair, by the time they got there, you were kind of like happy to see it. And I mean, what a run by FTR. I mean, what a run. It's been really spectacular. I mean, you want to talk about the vibes being immaculate at the beginning of this show. Right after that, you go into Takeshita versus Okada. And it was... And when we talk about some of the matches on Dynamite and how you're like, God, this was a pay-per-view worthy match here on TV. This is a second match on a pay-per-view that would have main evented and been the best match on almost any show elsewhere on the calendar in most other promotions.
Your Wrestle Kingdom main event.
Yeah.
Okada versus Takeshita. The second match on an AEW pay-per-view. Oh, baby.
Full bore Okada, just full like. I think I saw someone make a good point earlier on Blue Sky. Okada picks his spots even more precisely than he did in New Japan towards the end. Do you know what I mean? Where it was pretty much just Wrestle Kingdom and maybe once or twice else on the calendar towards the end for him. And he's on a similar kind of thing in AEW where, he'll work his Continental Classic and it's good. It's not bad, but it's not, he's not all the way on. But you know what? If that means that twice a year, though, he goes all the way on and he has this level of match, I'm down. I'm down with that. I mean, this was vintage Okada, to use the most cliche thing ever. I mean, they just went hell for leather in this match. And obviously there was some chicanery afterwards we'll talk about, but straight up finish. Takeshita just beat him. Just beat him. A guy who does not lose very often. An angle where there was all kinds of intrigue and side eyes and this guy's eyeing up this guy. Where's this guy's loyalties lie? Just hit him with his move. And won. Yeah. Title change, new international champion. Anything else you wanted to shout out about the match before we get to the angle?
That's just fucking brilliant. Just two balls at the top of it. I mean, Don Callis say a lot about him. He's not lying. These two are alphas. Mm-hmm. They went at it. Went head to head.
It's interesting what you said about the Continental Classic. Obviously, these two had a match at World's End that really disappointed. Wasn't like bad, but when you were hoping for something like this, and yes, the kind of baked version, really disappointing. So I was going into this, talking to people about it, saying, I know what the last match was, but this one, we're gonna get what we wanted the first time. We're gonna get the New Japan main event level match. I don't know if I even truly believed in myself, but this was my match of the night. This is my 5 months in match of the year.
I respect it. I think it's a respectable sense.
Show respect.
I adored it. This was two guys, like no frills, no, again, bells and whistles. Two guys, just the best. Doing crazy reversals, crazy moves. Not necessarily fucking 450 splashes and just, every little reversal they did, I would like scream. Like do a little scream. And then even at the end of the match, I did like the absolute fucking mark. A standing O. I stood up.
Nothing wrong with that.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Very good.
So after the match, the Don Callis family surround Takeshita. It's like, he's upset at the pecking order. He's in trouble now, and out comes the returning Kyle Fletcher.
Pause. Jumping for joy. Another standing O.
He's like, fuck. Huge reaction for Fletcher. Yeah. He comes out and he hugs. I will tell you what. I mean, this the idea that he was coming out to save Takeshita. It got me. I believe that's what they were actually going to do, because he embraced and he had this look on his face like the hug was very real to him, and they played his music when he raised Takeshita's hand as well, which AEW typically does signify the end of the segment when they do that, and then
timed so well.
It was timed brilliantly. They absolutely nailed it. So he chases off the family, except he doesn't, because then he turns on Takeshita, which is a genuinely great reveal. And I think it's way too early for the Kyle Fletcher babyface. I think, seeing as you just did the Takeshita one, I don't think you need to turn another guy face. But I will say that in the post-match beatdown, so the heels all come back, they beat down Takeshita, and then Fletcher and Okada are eyeing each other up over the international title, of which neither of them holds. And I was like, okay, all right. So we're now ending one, and now we're beginning a new 1 year cycle of two members of the Don Callis family eyeing each other up about this. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Well, Okada let it go and said, Fletcher, truly you are the alpha. I'm only a soy boy beta. Look, Fletcher, we love Fletcher, and I especially love Fletcher. #1 draft pick. Really underwhelming. 26. But he came out here. It's not like we haven't seen him in the pink suit and all that before. But he came out here and he just looked like the biggest star in the world.
$1 million.
Like presentation. Oh, amazing. So yeah, if we get some Fletcher to Takeshita coming up, I'll take all of that you got.
3-way. That'd be nice.
A 3-way in London.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'll take all of that you got.
After that, we got Athena defeating Mina Shirakawa to advance in the Women's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal. This match is better than I was expecting. I did not expect much from a Mina singles match that does not involve money. But it's better than I was expecting. But I still would consider this like as a good TV match rather than.
Yeah, I thought they did quite well considering what they were following. I actually quite enjoyed it, and it was nice and quick, and well put together. So Athena going through.
Solid stuff, yeah. And I know we talk a lot about the state of ROH and stuff like that, but it's just so funny when they come in and they talk about Athena being a 500 billion day champion, and then she's just always like, but in AEW, she's always presented as the person who's good enough to advance one stage in the Owen, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So she's never presented as an. It's like they just do all these little things that just enforce this idea in your head that like ROH is just not worth watching. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's not as intentionally hostile as this, but it's like Vince booked WCW. Do you know what I mean? It's like even if I'm putting them over, I'm putting them over in a way that where they then lose to my mid carders. Do you know what I mean?
That's the problem. That's what Ring of Honor is. It's the kind of AEW lower card on a show, and it's like, well, what? Why do I want to watch that? Like I don't want to watch that. There's no differentiation. It's not like, oh, it's up and comers. It's the young kids that are wrestling. It's not like anything. It's bizarre that I think Tony likes it. He loves Ring of Honor.
I guess so.
He likes it, but I don't know what the goal is. Like, what's your mission statement for it? It seems very, very odd.
Yeah, that is weird. And also kind of telling as well that this Swerve obviously did a run-in on the Ring of Honor show, but the Swerve Bandito program just quietly not for the Ring of Honor world title, because I'm above that shit, baby. I'm not carrying that fucking thing around.
Good, yeah.
Pretty telling. Pretty telling.
Decision.
That's the way they went.
It's so mad that Athena is so not used at AEW and relegated to Ring of Honor. This was her first AEW match of the year. Can you believe that?
Yeah, and just to look at the person she's directly in the ring. I'm not trying to shit on Mina or anything, but like I don't think very much of Mina. I think if you're like, you don't have to push Athena to the moon, but as a mid carder in tournaments like this, as a person to have matches on weekly TV, I mean, you trade Athena for Mina every single day of the week. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean,
I think most of the, again, yeah, to your point with Mina, like I don't want to shit on someone to bring someone, to talk well about someone else. But like, Athena's better than half the people out in AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Again, it's like we always talk about. Is it like they have to keep some semblance of stars on Ring of Honor on the off chance someone gives him 100 million quid a year for telly? I don't know who would do that, but I don't know. We remain perplexed by the ROH situation. Anyway,
I'll tell you what.
Go on.
Anna Jay could be the Ring of Honor
world champion.
Trade her.
For 5. Well, you're an idiot because she's TJ are reuniting and feuding with.
Yes,
I saw
feuding with the
point in the bag, brother. Point in the bag.
Rubbing his hands. Yeah, come on.
It's going to be the ultimate ironies because they're doing the 5-minute challenge and they're going to lose in like 5 seconds. Anyway. After that, we got Jon Moxley defeating Kyle O'Reilly in a
this kid, the other guy.
Oh man, let's talk about that first. All right, listen. They tried in the early days with JR as the full-time commentator. Then that didn't work, right? And they're like, all right, he can be the full-time Rampage commentator, right? And then that didn't work either. And then they were like, okay, we'll bring him in for the second half of the pay-per-view, right? And then like, okay, he's also bad. now we'll bring him in for the main events of the pay-per-view. And that was us for you. We are currently at, this man comes in for about one match a quarter, and they are intentionally putting him on commentary on matches where you would, if you're fucking like, okay, what's this guy going to like and understand and get? Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is the most JR wrestler ever. He gets this guy, he's macho, he's old school, his shit looks good, right? He's getting stuck in one hand-picked match every quarter, and it is still embarrassingly bad that they've trimmed this guy's on-screen time to about 20 minutes a year. And yeah, as Paul alluded to there, it's Moxley versus O'Reilly, and JR keeps talking about O'Reilly as a youngster, right? And keeps calling him this young man, to the degree that not just us at home, I'm fairly sure Nigel at one point said O'Reilly's name in a tone that was like, O'Reilly, in that kind of, you keep saying it, you keep not using his proper name in a manner that suggests you don't know what it is. Keep in mind,
I thought Nigel was saying, "Oh, really? Yeah, just cute. Yeah, he's great."
Like I know everyone, like I know this entire, like JR is like, you know, he's been commentating since before Kyle O'Reilly was born, like literally. I was like, but O'Reilly's like in his late 30s, and JR used to
go 1 year between him and Mark.
And also, O'Reilly like used to work New Japan in the era JR called it. JR has been calling this man's matches for a decade. It's not like his first time seeing him. Kept calling him young man. Kept calling him young man as a substitute for his actual name. Was just all over the place. And then at the finish, he says, "We've got a new champion," when Moxley retains. I was like,
I didn't catch that.
Oh, it was so embarrassing. And that was the point where I realized, as I said there at the beginning, I was like, you have trimmed this man's airtime as low as humanly possible. While, I mean, it's obvious the only reason he's still on TV at all is a respect kind of politeness thing, right? They like him. Tony Khan specifically likes him, respects him as a legend or whatever. Though probably doesn't have the guts to cut him because he's a legend and he's had a tough couple of years and all this other stuff. And I get that, but I'm like, okay, just make him I don't know, agent. What does he have any interest in doing that stuff? Maybe he doesn't. But whatever his interests are, it's time to even do away with the polite one match a year appearances. They're just so bad. It's just like having Art Barr out there.
It was Jim. Jon Moxley's got a very specific striking and submission skill set, but Kyle O'Reilly, you could argue, Jim, is maybe even more skilled in that respect. What do you think about that? Well, let me tell you, this kid Moxley, this kid Ambrose, he's real big. He's real big, bigger than this other cat. That's the amount of insight. This whole match. So obviously someone had given him the cliff notes. This is Jon Moxley. This is Kyle O'Reilly. Don't worry about his name. And Moxley has the side advantage. That's all you need to know. There you go.
By the way, the reference I was trying to pull there was Art Donovan, not Art Barr, the famous wrestler. Yeah, no, the Art Donovan, that guy. That's what I was going for. Excalibur. And what is the time limit of this match? It's no time limit. Wow.
They could go all night.
Yeah, really bad. And again, like they're not asking him to commentate Stadium Stampede where he'll hate it. It's like they're gift wrapping him a match that is tailor made to his interests, and he's not able, lads. I don't know who doesn't realize that yet in AEW, but he's not able to do this anymore. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's talk about the match itself. I thought this was better than the time limit, but maybe still not on the level of their previous matches. I thought.
No. It was a solid pay-per-view match. But
I think the strength of the previous banger was Moxley is a killer as someone who sells, especially submissions. It's like his strength is the best thing he does. Remember the Fletcher match? Hobble around in peril, clawing and scratching from submission. Moxley on top. Well, that's not as good, but obviously you lose that element slightly. I thought this was great. Really, really great. O'Reilly fighting from beneath. Really, really good. Working the leg. Little kicks to the leg. Great stuff. And ankle lock, double ankle lock at one time. Really top stuff. Really top stuff.
Yeah. I'm so happy this Moxley reign is continuing, obviously, because he's continuing to do phenomenal work. I would have loved to have seen the angle continue, though, where Riley just has his number. And like, I just love stuff like that, because it's not even about like pushing O'Reilly to the top of the card or anything. It's just like that kind of realistic sport. Sometimes another guy just has your number and there's nothing you can do, and you try everything. But look, I mean, obviously, especially since they're kind of storyline wise, they're going into this thing of Moxley tutoring O'Reilly, tutoring Ospreay. I suppose you kind of have to have him like conquering his own fucking, white whale, and has to. So it made all the sense in the world. But I would have also been happy if O'Reilly won. But yeah.
I loved O'Reilly tapping out as well.
Yes.
Because baby faces can submit.
Yes.
Not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like submission guys. If their whole thing is rolling around on the mat and doing that, it's not. Yeah. We got the first round of the men's, Owen. Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay. And I mean, I love Samoa Joe. I always love Samoa Joe, and yet even I sell him short a little bit when he comes back after some time off or whatever. And I'm like, I like Joe, but this probably be all right. I mean, this was so fucking great. I mean, this was just so. Joe just never loses it. He just never loses it. Obviously, Ospreay's at the top of his game right now. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I just thought Joe worked at just an entirely different kind of Ospreay match to the usual, and I thought this was just really top notch. Really great stuff. Really, Joe looked great, very credible, and Ospreay with the straightforward win here as well. Lots of clean finishes on this show, obviously.
Yeah,
was good. I mean, like first ever Ospreay Joe match, and it's kind of in the middle of the pay per view, and it was really good. But it's like, God, this should be like a main event.
Yeah,
this should be like a huge match, but you kind of spoil with AEW. You get first time dream matches just as a kind of fourth best match on the show. Yeah, it was very good. So, I've been watching his TNA tapes, obviously.
Yeah, got Joe up for that Styles clash. My God,
that was scary, but he did it. Yeah.
Back-to-back Owen action. We had Swerve defeating Bandito. This is a match I was kind of not looking forward to that much, even though I like both these guys. First of all, the angle on TV was hilariously bad. The brawl they had, I don't know what that was. But also these are, I think that kind of casted doubt in my mind, because these are two guys who can be really great when they're on, and then they both are capable of having those off nights. You know what I mean? But I thought they really did well here. They're true lads who love to do some innovative, weird shit and just try some stuff. And I thought they did that in this. Swerve jumping up on Bandito's shoulders and hitting him with the house call from his shoulders was really impressive. The finish is really clever. Swerve was working the neck. Bandito hits the 21 plex, but he can't hold the bridge because of his neck. He goes for another 21 plex, and Swerve stops him mid rotation and turns it into a vertebraker, which is just absolutely spectacular. Poison ran off the apron, all kinds of mad creative shit in this one. Really good. Not at the tippy top. I mean, when you look at this card, I mean, mental competition, so it's not going to go bar for bar with the likes of Takeshita versus Okada, but another really solid mid card offering here, I thought.
Yeah, getting very good. Not too much to say. I don't know. Yeah, it was just a solid match.
The 1-arm gorilla press to the outside as well.
That's cool.
Really good. I like that this felt like as many of these matches were just like really, really great. They all felt different enough though to each other. When you consider like the FTR Cage Code match, you had the Okada to Kenshin match, Moxley O'Reilly, Joe Ospreay, and then Swerve Bandito. All bangers, but never did I feel fatigue of too many of the same match.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that continued with the next match, which is also something a little bit different. We had Tekla retaining the women's title over Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. This was exactly what you would have expected, which was a pretty fun four-way, all action, centered around Shida and Statlander, like accidentally hitting each other or almost accidentally hitting each other. And I'm of the belief that if teammates are in a 4-way anyway, they should just be beating the shit out of each other. But like doing this constant. I mean, thankfully by the end, Statlander did just like beat her up. But I was like, man, it's just this angle is baffling. Like why Statlander gives a shit about any of this is bizarre. But the match was, solid. The finish was Statlander seemingly having Tekla dead to rights, but then Sheeta hit her with the kendo stick. And then who did Tekla pin? Was it Sheeta she pinned?
Statlander with the
Statlander.
Okay. So there you go. Not much else to it.
I liked it a lot. It was a little predictable, is the only thing. Mm-hmm. And as you say, the Sheeta Statlander thing was also predictable. And I didn't feel to pay off the kendo stick, but to your point, they should have just been fighting anyway. So who's next? We're
and then the lights went out, and out come Mercedes Moné. Oh, wait, no. Jesus Christ!
Not all my dreams can come true at once.
Is this woman ever coming back? It's been 5 months.
I mean, do we think she's the wild card?
No.
Nah, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because it's too ad hoc for that to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're desperate and they say, "Look, we've lost Tony, we've lost Willow. We need a fucking baby face who's like over." we gotta deal the Mercedes card, so to speak. Then possibly, but I like to think if Mercedes coming back anytime soon, that they have a plan in place for that, and that Tony doesn't like to veer from the plans. I do feel like though we're getting to a stage where we are starting to feel very light on the women's babyface side.
I think so, yeah.
In terms of people who I want to see. So maybe. And I think ultimately, if Mercedes is available, I would have just had her in the tournament from the start. I'd have had her win the tournament and let's do Tekla and Mercedes at All In. That's like the biggest match you can do right now.
Yeah, you're right. They presumably had a plan for the Owen already. Like, for example, the Osprey Windsor one we outlined last week. Yeah, they're not really...
Windsor, that's a letdown, though. I don't think Windsor's there yet.
But let me play devil's advocate in reply to you there. They have to push someone new. They are dropping like flies. They got to pick a new person. Yeah. I mean, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I feel like, she's not even in the tournaments, doesn't matter, but like, I feel like we just kind of have to got to admit that they're just never going to push Jamie Hayter seriously, like ever again, for whatever reason. And and I don't think any of the outsiders are going to win it. And as we were also just talking about, I don't think they're going to do anything with Athena. So I'm kind of looking at that lineup and I'm like, unless you're going to try Sky Blue, which I would recommend against. I don't even know who else, unless again the wild card is someone mental. But yeah, I mean, I suppose they probably have a plan for Mercedes, and they probably have a plan for insert Owen winner here. And yeah, I don't think TK would blow all that up just to bring Mercedes back. But I
do like that Sky Blue is in the tournament when the Triangle of Madness are the one faction in all of AEW that aren't side-eyeing each other.
Yeah. So at least we don't have to worry about them facing each other,
No.
Anyway, up next, I was smacking my my TV in the living room. I was like, what's going on here? I seem to be watching Money in the Bank 2020 from Titan Towers. What can I just? What is wrong with my telly? I don't know what's going on here. All right, listen. It was wrapped in a bunch of very fun brawling that I did enjoy for the most part. I think you are kidding yourself if you don't think this is literally just a bunch of WWE comedy. I don't know how anyone could watch this and not think that. It was
that I'm saying and the pointless food fight that did.
The food fight. I think I've gone on record as saying I think that Money in the Bank match from COVID, I think that is like one of my least favorite things ever produced in the history of wrestling. I mean, it was just so and a bunch of the exact same stuff happens in this match. They're brawling into catering. And so, and the funny thing is, right, I did think it was a little bit funny when Satnam saying, eating a birthday cake for some reason, just eating a gigantic fucking cake backstage catering. I did think it was kind of funny when when Andrade bumped into him, who's a great person to do this with, bumps into him and he goes face first into the cake and then he turns around and as he gets out of his chair you realize it's Satnam Singh and he's fucking 10 foot tall. I thought I was like, that's actually a funny visual. I was like, he's going to choke slam Andrade through a table now. Instead, like, Andrade throws a guy at him and someone just yells food fight and they just start throwing. I was like, this is garbage. There was a food fight in the exact match I'm referencing. At one point, Jericho also just opens a door and Luther is just standing there to be a reference. I mean, it's just...
With a giant tennis racket.
With a giant tennis racket. It's flop. It's flop.
Funny cartoon.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. And then, listen, Jack, I don't care how many attempted homicides Jack Perry does. He'll never be tough. Stick him in the ops with Bowens and Hook. You'll never buy him as tough. He tries to fucking murder Mark Davis with a bus, which I will say, the collision was at least, I mean, there was no fucking... A lot of times when people do this in wrestling, these angles look really fake. He fucking obliterated that golf cart. I'll say that. He at least drove it really fast into it. But it's just like casually doing that in the middle of this match with this guy who you'll just never believe he's a tough guy. I could believe Eddie Kingston would try and run someone over like in an old style Memphis angle. You just look at this. This is just fucking fake rubbish. It's just fucking rubbish, and it's not funny. The tennis balls at Ricochet, none of which hit him. A big tennis racket. I mean, yeah. Look, again, because of the people in the match, you had Andrade, you had Kenny, you had the Bucks. You know, the Hurt Syndicate did some cool spots. To be fair to them, you know, they were suplexing people around, but it was a bunch of craps. You know, inserted in between all the decent spots. I thought, am I overreacting, or are you guys with me?
Look, did you like it or not?
No.
Barry, you beat around the bush.
I mean,
let me tell you, there was one person I thought who had a really good showing, and everyone.
Big boy from GOA.
You got it. The big boy from GOA, Toa.
Yeah,
Toa in this match, it finally clicked for me. I get it. I like him now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I thought he did some cool stuff. Although, if we're going to go full WWE here, I'm afraid I do have an angle I have to pitch for him, which is that Leo Rush bit him in his cameo. So on Wednesday, Toa has to be acting like Leo Rush. He has to be a zombie monster thing now. It's just like the demand backstage kind of. Aha, Jericho, you didn't even beat me. Wait, what are you doing over there, Toa? Don't worry about it. It's fine. You know. They could do something like that. But I thought he was cool. He was throwing people around. And he was swinging the shopping cart above his head like a maniac, which was very cool. I thought there was some individual stuff in this that was really fun. But yeah.
It was not anything like the previous Anarchy in the Arena matches. This was much more like the original Stadium Stampede. Yeah, where it was just a comedy rather than... I thought those other ones did a really good job of blending like a few gags with like a proper like brawling and Falls Count Anywhere type stuff. This was just like sketches. Really.
Well, apparently they weren't allowed to fight in the crowd.
Well, yeah, I think that's maybe part of it is the New York thing. They can't bleed. They can't...
Yeah, no geek ski, no crowd brawling.
Yeah,
they did a little bit of concession stand stuff, but I guess
don't do this in New York. Save this for like Vegas or somewhere.
But Joe,
Florida.
See, your mistake here is that it's double or nothing, which means you have to do one of these.
Oh, because of double. Yeah.
Which is another habit I think we need to get out of in this company. Especially because look at these fucking teams: Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate and the Elite. I mean, lads, if you don't have a faction warfare during the summer, you don't have to do Stadium Stampede or Blood and Guts. You don't have to do it. You do not have to do it. Save it until you have one. I mean, just like talk about throwing darts at a dartboard. You know, fucking Ricochet and David Finlay. Like what? Anyway. Jericho did pin one of the GOA boys instead of Ricochet, so Ricochet got out of this feud without giving his win back, which was something.
Jericho jumped through a table.
I fast forwarded past that.
He did the Sabu pose and said, "Look, we didn't break a table. I'm going to jump through with my big belly."
I mean, this Jericho run has been absolutely crap so far. I mean, it has been absolute rubbish. It has been fucking rubbish.
He had the one good, like, decent promo where he did the first, you're bald, and you're bald. And then he did the second week, and I was like, no, I'm over that already.
The Ricochet singles match was good. I did enjoy that. you know.
Yeah, it was alright.
I also felt like
pants look like they don't fit properly.
Yeah, what was it? What were the outfits they were going for on the babyface side?
It was a Reservoir Dogs kind of thing. I'm not sure. They're like suits.
By the way, remember Kenny Omega? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, what did I do?
He did like a spot in this match.
He did a one-winged angel on Andrade through the table.
This is the most perfect representation of the dichotomy of Kenny. The high highs, the low lows. Sometimes he has the best instincts in the world, sometimes he's the worst. A couple of weeks ago, he's doing that segment with Ospreay. His voice is cracking, tears in his eyes. I just don't know if I can do it.
Oh, it's so good.
And Ospreay's so like, good. Mate, if you can't do it, there's no one can. I mean, you're Kenny fucking Omega. We're watching this. We're going, oh my god, cinema. We're doing the meme, and we're like, oh, All In. Is that the All In match? Is that the Wembley match? Omega Ospreay. There's like two baby faces trying to prove who wants it the most. And then, me smoking this cigar, but I cannot breathe. Anyway, let me lay in the corner until it's time to do my one spot a half hour later through the tail.
I 100% agree. The coughing on the cigar was really cool originally. And then
I had that exact thought. I was like, fuck, he looks so cool. And then he had to do it. He had to Kenny it. He had to Kenny it up. Yeah. Oh, God. And I feel like, you know what, as someone who is looking forward to this eventual program when they do it, I feel like they're slamming the brakes on any potential interesting Kenny Omega programs until he can be in Wembley, probably after doing another fucking stadium stampede, and he can be celebrating with the boys, and then New Day Rocks or whatever they called the boys when they come in. I feel like they're slamming the brakes on any Kenny stuff, and they're like, forget all that shit. He's now going to be in time killing mode until we can get to Kofi and Austin Creed coming in.
If they're next to it in the Impact Zone, like.
Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they are doing a will match, or maybe they are doing something interesting. But because he was barely involved in the build of this match as well. Jack Perry said on like the second hour of Collision 2 weeks ago that Kenny Omega was in this match. That was the big angle to get Kenny into this match.
In certain circles, especially, I watch a lot of post wrestling because I think those guys are great. But they are really assuming they're going, yeah, Omega Ospreay is the match. They're talking as if that is like the all-in main event, and I am just like, really don't get it. I really don't understand.
As good as the MJF Ospreay, I presume.
That's what I assume. I just think, how do you not have MJF in the biggest show of the year, given the year he's had? I just think putting Kenny's like, he's the 14th man in this comedy match, and he's like, he's going to go from that to main event in Wembley in 3 months. Maybe you can do it, but
the work starts now. I mean, it fucking starts now, you know.
We need to see something urgent. Otherwise, I can think of, and even I'd rather see Swerve. I'd rather see MJF. I'd rather see Darby versus Ospreay. Like there's just so many people I'd rather see than Kenny in that match.
And again, 3-4 weeks ago, we were all in on that after that segment, and it's what have they done? Nothing.
Yeah.
And you look at the lay of the land, and it's like, all right, the title match is world champion, whomever that may be, versus Owen winner, whomever that may be. You would assume Will Ospreay, right? I think like there's plenty of ways to skin a cat. You hate never say never in wrestling. I don't think for what is it, the third year in a row you can go to Wembley and not have Ospreay win the world title in that fucking building. I don't think we can go through this once more. The last couple of times, there was different justifications. He was just in the company, fair enough. Or, okay, we were doing Swerve Danielson, all this other stuff. Okay, yeah, there was all good stuff. I don't think there's anything on your slate that would preclude you from doing that, all right? And I don't... again, there would have to be a massive... How do you... If you want that to be Will versus Kenny, you've got a lot of fucking work to do to get there, because I mean, how many title defenses is MJF going to have between now and Wembley? I mean, there's Forbidden Door in June.
Yeah.
Which, I was going to say, it doesn't usually have a title, but actually it does. They do usually have a title match.
Yeah.
Especially since the diminished value of New Japan. These are basically just AEW pay-per-views, really, at this stage. So, presumably he faces someone there. You've got a month to build Kenny back up to doing something of note, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really assuming it's MJF Ospreay, but we'll see. And that took us to the main event, title versus hair match for the world title. MJF defeated Darby Allin. I think a lot of people assumed going into this. I think they did a good job casting a reasonable doubt on that finish.
Oh, for sure. I wasn't certain about it. I wasn't
certain either. Yeah. The thing that kind of tipped it over the edge for me though was I was like, this angle they're doing with Darby where he's killing himself with these matches. Like, how many more pay-per-view cycles do you drag that out for before it stops being believable? You know.
Well, he won the title on that way. He could have lost on that way.
He could have. Yeah. Yeah. Could have lost it to Roosh. You know, next week.
I always kind of thought this was a way for MJF's title reign to go to All In without it getting boring. You know what I mean? So like put it on Darby for a month, have a crazy title reign with Darby, go back to MJF and he picks up kind of almost where he left off, which I think was brilliant. Really kind of keeps it interesting.
Agreed. Yeah, I think all in all, I think it was a brilliant bit of booking. You finally... Because the Darby thing was hanging over everyone. I mean, people thought he was the one going to beat Mox. It's basically been a thing for as long as since the companies existed, this kind of Darby thing. You finally blew it off. And you didn't just do it for the sake of doing it. You gave us like... everyone's going to remember the month where Darby had the most insane string of matches. Everyone... That is going to be a thing in the annals of history of this company that we talk about. You finally did it. And I must say, I had some misgivings about this match. I didn't love this match. I did think it was a kind of a stroke of booking genius that for all his antics, MJF technically wins the match clean. He just hits Darby with a big move and then he does the headlock takeover. Now, with the biggest asterisk ever that he has been like obliterating his body for the last month, right? So MJF gets to go out and talk about how he beat Darby without the ring and without hitting him in the balls. I just beat him and it's good heat because everyone knows, well, Darby's like been half dead all this time. I thought that's actually quite clever. You know, but yeah, the match wasn't on the level of most of the recent Darby matches for me. It's probably better than the Speedball one. Probably better than the Speedball.
Oh, I thought it was.
Oh, were you really into this match? I really wasn't. What did you? What was?
But I thought the Speedball match was like, oh, hey.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I really like this.
Oh, that was good.
From Darby taking a dangerous bump at the beginning.
Oh,
my God.
I love the finish, Tombstone. I mean, what I liked was they had teased MJF hitting Darby with the Tombstone off the second. Build up to the match, and then that's just be the finish. Basically, I thought it was very satisfying. Darby with the bump off the stage, came up bleeding from the back of his head. I didn't think that was Hardway.
Oh, you thought it was very cleverly done to look like it was Hardway?
Yeah, because I couldn't see quite where it hit. Then it immediately played into the storyline.
Yes.
I don't know if they just really well veered in that direction, but I was suspicious.
I think you might be right.
No, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I thought they both had a really good showing, MJF in particular. When he came out first, he had the kind of reddish salmon gear on. And I don't think I was actually correct, but the first thing I thought was, that, in my memory, looked very close to the gear Kurt Angle was wearing at Judgment Day 2002 when he got his head shaved by Edge. But looking it up, I think Kurt Angle's wearing a more straightforwardly red gear back then, so I wasn't right on that. I was thinking, is that a little hint that MJF's going to get his head shaved?
That would be... No. I think that is the type of thing MJF would do. It's funny that you had that thought, because I had an extremely similar thought, but for a different instance. I thought I thought they were kind of orangey, and I thought they looked a lot like Randy Orton's Benoit SummerSlam when he won his first title. I thought he looked very like that kind of gear. But the two of us maybe just staring at MJF's crotch, just thinking and pondering a bit too strongly. It was probably just I think I like this color.
I was more looking at the knee pad.
I was looking at the crotch. Anyway,
it's a good crotch.
So after the match, MJF is triumphant. He's standing over Darby on the stretcher. Out comes the Jet Kevin Knight to chase off MJF. Darby is getting wheeled out, and Kevin Knight is standing on the turnbuckle chasing off MJF. And he looks down at Darby and he says, fucking, he hits the UFO out of the ring onto Darby, squishes him on the stretcher, and then turns the stretcher over, which I always love in wrestling when they turn the stretcher over because the guy's just strapped to it and just falls on his face. So there's your much speculated on Bayley/Jet feud or turn rather. They went with Knight. I'm interested in this direction. People seem a little bit divided on it. To me, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks. They've been letting Knight go out there and get his verbal reps. You know what I mean? He's been cutting promos pretty much every week.
Yeah.
And you want to give him a chance, but also at the same time, they are obviously very anxious to push him. It seems like they kind of want to push him now. And it's just not really where it needs to be as a babyface. So I think they're maybe doing the old classic wrestling thing of, if we turn this guy, will he find the spark? Will he find the next thing that famously so many people have when they get a go as a heel?
Yeah. I just thought this was a very strange way to do it. What I didn't really get. Why did he do it? I mean, I'm sure he'll explain. Hopefully he's got a good reason. But like, what was the...
You people don't deserve
an explanation for why.
It can't be that. I mean, if you want to talk about WWE tropes that you get away from, I think Wednesday is going to be very telling. I think it has to be good. It has to be a good follow-up.
I want him to throw Speedball through a barbershop window type turn. You know what I mean? Like, not this. Yeah.
Mariah May, Tony Storm, Bloodbath.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to, whatever he says, whatever way he justifies that. I would like, when he talks about it on Wednesday, I would like him to say that he basically made that decision in the moment. He got fed up of everything. Because, it's one of those silly wrestling things where if he acts like he was planning it the whole time, just happened to be the star, if he was laying below him, that's a bit silly. I kind of like the idea of just he came out to save Darby and then just decided, fuck it, I'm getting nothing out of this, you know. But we'll see. Wednesday will be very telling.
Maybe that Darby lost it back to MJF of all people, or... My issue with it wasn't so much Kev Knight turning heel or even the way they did it. It was just that it felt really superfluous. Like the pay-per-view had kind of reached its natural conclusion. And then there was and then. I would have preferred if they just kind of like did it on Dynamite. Right? Like it didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Then I feel like AEW sometimes feel like they have to have a stinger on the end of the pay-per-view, which I don't mind, but it has to be one that makes sense or is satisfying. This one felt a little too out of left field. I like the idea of Knight as a heel. I'm not against that at all.
So great show. This is one of the breezier 4 hours that I've ever sat through for AEW. It was lightning fast. It felt great. And we onwards to Forbidden Door. So before we jump into our other features here, do we have a fantasy update post-pape?
We do. Barry, you actually won the pape, believe it or not.
Okay.
I was very late adding these scores, by the way, because I have a laptop today. And Barry actually won the week. Barry with the 79 for the week, 61 at Double or Nothing. That's with Takeshita, Hope, both winning belts, Tekla defense, and wins for Claudio and Ospreay.
Listeners, I grabbed Cope for Willow, by the way, after the Willow news.
Barry grabbed Cope for Willow, and I will clarify, obviously that Davis trade is now also live. Typically what we do is, when you make a trade midweek, I don't allow it until after the podcast in which it's announced. Unless, this is the caveat, obviously this being a democracy, we can also revisit this as a rule if you want in the future, unless the podcast is delayed for any reason. Mm-hmm. If we delay the podcast on the Sunday, I'm a little bit more flexible with it, because then it's sort of out of your control to announce it on the Sunday when you otherwise would have done it. Right? So, Barry traded out Willow for Cope, of course.
And I did this on Wednesday or Thursday morning, I guess, after I read the news, to be clear to the listeners. Yeah, I think that's fair. If we maybe want to next year, if we want to change the verbiage to just say Sunday rather than podcast day.
Yeah, we can have a specific deadline for game week first on this day.
I appreciate your gracious ruling, sir. I appreciate it.
It's fair. I just think it's fair because
I also think it's fair, and I think you're very fair.
We've done podcasts on Tuesdays, and you get an advantage sometimes by waiting till after.
If you want to do a Tuesday podcast, boss, that's fine by me, boss. You think the way you want to do it around here, I respect your rules.
Sleazy.
Oh, Barry, it's been bonus points.
Well, careful there. Ooh, whoopsie.
The Manchester City of Fantasy League. Barry Murphy.
My hand though, Joe, with a
I was happy.
67 for the week.
I was happy with this
week. On the pape. I mean, MJF
12 points behind. I think. I mean, I've had a tremendous streak. I was looking back. I think I've won like the last 7 weeks in a row. I don't know if that's ever happened. Like that is thanks to Darby.
Going to roll by
like
considerable amount as well.
Yeah. So as long as I'm within sort of 10 points of Barry going forward, I'm like, okay, I can live with that.
I only had 26 on the pay-per-view, but I did have a good Dynamite. I'd beat Joe on Dynamite, which doesn't happen very often these days.
Yeah, a decent pay-per-view, to be fair. It wasn't like that bad. It was just...
my only 8 pointers on the whole show were Lena Cross and Megan Bay.
Oh, that's true.
How about
Elf?
I think it's like
everyone else either lost or was in multi-man matches. And then, but we did have the return of Big Kyle, who, despite his absence, is still on 66 points. Is just outside the top 10, despite missing...
No, I think he'll still end... all said and done, he'll end up being a great pick. I'm certain of that.
Yeah.
Darby has jumped to number 1, by the way, despite his loss on the pape, just with his defenses over the last few weeks. 115 points. Kev Knight in second, 111. Kev Knight obviously didn't wrestle on the pay-per-view. Couldn't fit him in between all of the tennis ball action on there. Moxley in third. Tekla back up to fourth. Orange Cassidy in fifth. Megan Bain in sixth, which is crazy given where she is on the card at the moment. I would nearly just have her win the TBS as well. And then have her lose it, and then have her win it again. And she just wins every week. She loses and she wins on Dynamite over and over again.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's a new TBS champion, presumably, looming.
Yeah. Willow in seventh now, obviously been traded there. Mark Davis in eighth, who Barry's picked up for Pac, who had a really rubbish year, to be honest. So far, Pac. You wouldn't think so watching because he's on Dynamite, and he's on like 20 points or something for the year, so they're really no good. MJF up to ninth. Wouldn't I tell you what? I know year on year we always say you're going to fall into the MJF trap. He doesn't wrestle enough. Ninth for the year on 70. Quite a good year for him.
Yeah.
So that's your fancy update.
I think our new rules as well are helping the distribute of people like MJF who aren't wrestling very often. But we're given the the rules we shook up. They give a little bit more credence to the pushed acts, which is really what the name of the game is. So.
We've also got, of course, Meltzer's bonuses, and from what he was saying, I think we're going to get like at least 4 or 5 5-star matches on this show.
Yeah, I think it's going to be raining. I think it's going to be raining bonus points. I'm going to pull up the list here.
It's the Divine Dominion 5-star challenge. How about that, Dave?
I mean, I could see him going it on Swerve. Well, absolutely going Okada at 100. Yeah. I could see him going it on MJF.
FDR Hope. Hey, Christian, I can see it.
FDR Cope, I could see, absolutely. I mean, the Mox O'Reilly match, most people, ourselves included, have been like, yeah, it was good, it wasn't a passion on the previous.
4 or 5.
Sometimes those are the ones where he'll just, let's go 5. Yeah, well, it wasn't quite good, 5.5. It's going to be raining. It's going to be raining points. This coming,
Ooh, not for my wrestlers though, just for the 2 of yours. We do have a quiz.
Hooray!
Let's do it.
Baffled. So we have, and what I've tried to do this one is we've got some toughies, we've got some easier ones, and of course we have one non-wrestling one in there. So again, this is where we give you 4 items of a specific category. Some of them are a little bit more straightforward, some of them are a little bit more lateral. So we really have to think what we're trying to get at here. And you have to give me what is the connecting tissue between the 5 things. What am I trying to get at? What are these 4 things?
What is Paul trying to get at is what the feature is called.
What is Paul thinking? That's what we got. Barry, we'll let you go first. 6 categories. You can pick which one you'd like to take.
Let me go 6.
6. Carl Anderson. Of course, if Barry doesn't get it after 4, so if Barry gets it on Carl Anderson, he'll get 4 points. If he gets it on number 2, he'll get 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. If he doesn't get it, passes over to Joe for a 1 point steal.
Pro wrestlers with podcasts.
Good, but it's not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's not right.
Number 2 is Jay White.
G1 finalists.
It's very good. That's not what I'm looking for.
Dang.
Number 3 is Zack Sabre Jr.
Okada opponents.
Very good, but it's not right. In the infamous, what was his name? Roy Walker. It's very good.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's not right.
But it's not right.
He was from Northern Ireland as well, wasn't he? So it was more.
That's right.
Wow, it's not good, so it's not right.
Right.
Number 4, Barry. I think this might unlock it for you if you think about it here. Number 4 is The Blade.
Oh, people. Actually, no, because how does Zack Sabre Jr. fit into it? Okay, so what I'm thinking, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm not guessing. You've got the blade, you've got the switchblade, you've got the machine gun. What Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know where he fits into this. I'm like, people whose nicknames are weapons, wrestlers with weapon names.
He's got it. 1 point for Barry.
Oh, Sabre. Sorry.
Sabre is a type of sword.
Lightsaber.
Yes, of course. Lightsaber, exactly.
Okay, very good.
Weapon-related names or nicknames.
Very good, very good.
1 point. Joe, 1 through 5. Which one would you like?
1.
1. Joe's taking number 1. British Bulldog, and then in brackets, European.
Is it inaugural winners of WWF championships?
You fat right into my trap.
You son of a bitch.
The old wordle, the old fake out.
The old New York Times connections.
Red herring, bitch.
Connections, that was the reference I was thinking of. Whoopsie.
Yeah, it's not. Good guess, though. Number 2, Billy Kidman, brackets, cruiserweight.
Billy Kidman, cruiserweight. Is it? No, that's not right. Kidman, cruiserweight. European cruiserweight. Longest reigning champions with that particular belt.
Johnny Mundo, brackets, world.
What their last name actually means.
Bulldog, European, British Bulldog, Billy Kidman, Johnny Mundo, world. Johnny Mundo World.
Oh, wait a minute.
What does Johnny Mundo win a world? Does he win a world title? I don't remember that. They all won the belt with a shooting star press.
See the British Bulldog. In a shooting star.
In 1999 in his jeans.
No, I have no idea. They all won belts wearing denim.
No. I'm afraid not.
Okay. No idea.
Oh, that's a really good guess.
Final one. It is Hardcore Holly, brackets, hardcore.
I think I know it.
British Bulldog. Billy Kidman. Is it their names all relate to the titles that they've won?
It is 1 point. Joe.
Kidman?
Sorry, Kidman is the big. That is bollocks. That is rubbish.
Oh, right. We're never doing this again.
That's the end of that.
That's
the end of
enjoy the next few because we're never doing this again.
Right, Chad Stable coming back next week. Everyone got a couple of emails saying Chad Stable should come back. So,
no, you.
I really did not.
British Bulldog, of course, European. Kidman, Cruiserweight. I nearly did Ramsey Junior. I nearly did. You know what? It's enemy tree in that. I nearly did Ramsey Junior instead of Kidman, but Kidman made me laugh. So I
oh my god, that would have been perfect. The junior heavyweight. Yeah. Oh my god, you fucking idiot. Oh my god, it was right there.
Not as funny though.
But that is true. That is true.
Comedy podcast. Johnny Mundo, World. Wow, obviously. And Hardcore Holly Hardcore. So 1 point each. Barry, back to you. 2, 3, 4, 5.
3.
3. Number 1 is TIAA Bankfield.
Okay. Locations of Stadium Stampede / Anarchy in the Arena?
No.
Okay.
You're correct. No. Number 2, TIAA Bankfield plus Daly's Place.
Double or Nothing locations?
No.
Okay.
You were very close to your first guess, but you were not correct with what you said. Number 3, Wembley Stadium.
Stadium and Stampede locations.
Stadium Stampede locations.
You wouldn't fucking give me Stadium Stampede / Anarchy in the Arena. Listeners, please email this man and tell him that Kidman is shit and that I should have gone fight. Fuck off. I got the exact premise of the question.
Gotta play by the rules.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Anyway, up next. Woof, things that a dog thinks.
I think number 1, okay. I think the listeners are gonna love Kidman.
Well, they're they're gonna love it because they get to listen. They don't have to play it.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm magnanimous. I'll give Barry 1 extra point for that.
Joe, that was robbery. Come on. That was absolute fucking robbery.
Yeah, I know, but Kidman.
That is true. I think Joe should also get an extra point for having guessed Kidman.
Okay, Joe gets a bonus point.
Yeah!
Everyone's happy there. And Paul gets bonus points in defense.
Well done. Well done. No, there's no messing in fantasy. Come on.
Okay. Joe, 2, 4, 5.
2.
Okay, number 1. The 323 area code.
323 area code.
How's your American area code knowledge?
323. I don't think I know that. I guess has a move named after it.
No, that's not right. Number 2 is equals 3 plus 3.
323 equals 3 plus 3. 9, 323. 3 plus 3, 9.
Equals 3 plus 3 is the second.
Equals 3 plus 3. 323. 3 plus 3 equals 3 plus 3. I have no idea. Next one.
Okay. You'll work that maths out shortly, I'm sure. equals 3 plus 3.
Let me get a pen and paper. Hang on. Let's work that one out.
I was sick from school today when they did
Equals,
3 plus 3. Doing the long edition on that one. Number 3, Joe. A specific fractional distillate of petroleum fuel oil.
Say it again.
Can you repeat that? A specific fractional distillate of petroleum fuel oil.
Okay. Okay. Oh, what's the first one? 323.
323 area code.
323. Okay, are these NWO members? Cryptic. Weird cryptic.
Oh, 6. Diesel.
323 is Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah, okay, yeah.
3 plus 3 is 6. Specific is Diesel. Yeah, you got it. Even though technically Diesel was not in the NWO.
Number 4 is Gillette.
Number 4 is a blade typically used for cutting hair. He's got it.
Nice.
Oh, no way.
So the score at the moment is 4-4. So
wow, it's all paid for.
Barry, I think you could score well on either of these remaining ones. No pressure.
Okay.
4 or 5?
5.
5. WWF Superstars.
Video game titles.
I will need a more specific answer.
Wrestling shows that were made into video game titles.
No.
Okay.
Number 2, WWF Road to WrestleMania 18.
Ooh. Like that. Now I'm further away.
Road to WrestleMania 18.
Modes in video games? Modes in wrestling video games?
I'm afraid not. Number 3, WWE Aftershock.
Fucking hell. Okay, so
Superstars, WWF Road to WrestleMania X8, WWE Aftershock.
Are these I have no idea what Aftershock is. I have no recollection of it. Are these syndicated shows, in the WWF syndicated shows?
Afraid not. You're I don't want to give anything away. You were closer with your previous guesses. You might get off this one. WWF Betrayal.
Oh, handheld wrestling games?
It is handheld wrestling video game.
Hang on, I think I know that. Hang on. I don't believe it's called Road to WrestleMania X8.
That's what it was called in the list.
I could be incorrect. Let me check. Okay. I think it varies by region. I will.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
It's a regional variant.
All right, it's fine. I should have known. To be honest, so I know the exact one.
What is the distinction in the name across regions?
Just minus the X8. I should have gotten it though because I know. Yeah, I know the exact game you're talking about, so I should have gotten that it was handheld. I should have gotten that. Fair enough. That's fine.
1 point. So Barry is on 5. Joe's on 4. So Joe, you do need to get this, or you
right.
See.
Right.
He gets the non-wrestling, right?
He gets a non-wrestling one. Number 1, James Cameron.
James Cameron. Directors of movies in the Alien franchise.
I was going to say directors of movies, which would have been wrong.
That would have been
directors of movies. Chase, also not. Don't afraid, but a good guess. Number 2, David Cronenberg. I mean, miles away. Might have made
Old Bonenberg. What has he done?
Old Cronenberg. Cameron and Cronenberg.
Cronenberg. Canadian film directors.
Oh, got it with 2.
Well done. Well done.
Let me guess. Is it
Canadian directors?
Our friend, what's his name? Dune.
Number 3 is going to be Villeneuve. Yeah. Villeneuve would have been it.
4. Another Canadian director. Rick Moranis.
What's he directed?
I don't know.
Anything lately?
Not recently.
No. Number 4, to give it away, who's the most Canadian director on the go at the moment? Big Johnson.
Oh,
Big Matt Johnson.
The Big Johnson. Yeah.
Big Matt. The Big Johnson. Yeah. So Joe does take it with his very impressive of Canadian directors off Cameron and Cronenberg.
So it's Cameron's Canadian. Yeah.
Yes, Cronenberg, I know. Cameron, I actually wasn't. I might be heard and I forgot about, but in looking this up, I was like, oh yeah, James Cameron. There you go. So Joe just takes it by point. Well done.
Well done, Joe. I mean, honestly, the two of us were fighting for our lives there against those clues. I mean, that was dreadful. But
I was expecting Luther to pop up with a giant tennis racket at any point during that game.
Oh, the category was extremely funny jokes.
And then Saddam Singh stood up and said, "Kid man."
Alrighty. That's another huge week of features for us there. Do you want to skip the TV? I mean, there wasn't really much of note other than the aforementioned speedball match.
No, I was disappointed by the speedball match, honestly, given how good all the others just have been. It kind of ended a little bit abruptly and just, it was fine. Not sure there was anything too much else. Obviously, there was no collision. There was a Dynamite and Collision 3
and Dynamite
hour,
Collision, yeah.
Whatever. Well, I don't think there's too much else to mention.
Alrighty. We will segue then. Hang on, bear with me a second.
Taking a suck from his big cigar like Kenny Omega.
The fresh Cuban there. No, sorry, I was just closing my window. All right, we'll segue over then to our other guffs for the week. We've got quite a few movies here. We had a bit of a movie drought on this pod recently, but we've got some films to talk about. Yeah. Let me tell you, lads, I have a new obsession, and it's about this film I'm going to tell you about right now. All right?
The new scary movie.
Tuesday, get out of here. They played the trailer for that new scary movie before the film I actually went to see, which was Obsession. That was a little reference I was going for there. There was that Oney Lorcannect level pun I was doing there. For this, they played the trailer for that
called Oney Lorcannect. Come on.
You know what? You've actually got me there. That is a very fair point to make. They played the trailer for that new scary movie, and I swear to God, the theater was howling
really?
At the Wednesday parody being called Tuesday and everything else. Also,
the long legs character is called, get this, short legs.
Also, by the way, for people who haven't seen it, the scene in the trailer where they're parodying Terrifier 3, where Art the Clown is like handing out body parts to children dressed as that's just a scene from Terrifier. That is just what happens in the movie. I rewatched Scary Movie a couple of years ago, and I was shocked by how much I was like, this is not parodying Scream. This is just Scream. You know, Scream is also very funny. I don't know if anyone's know. Have you ever seen this film? Yes. It's really good. It's called Scream, and it's quite funny. The amount of stuff in that movie that's just doing Scream again, but dumber. It's just, anyway, whatever. I did venture to the theater for me and the wife while we were sitting through the ads. I perused the letterbox because I was like, what was the last thing we saw? And I pulled up the old diary on the letterbox, and I scrolled and I was like, oh my fucking. Now, obviously, look, we've talked about the cinema on this podcast. Obviously, I've pissed off people's behavior, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to go through it all again. But I was kind of shocked. I have not gone to the actual cinema since I saw Superman the week it came out.
Wow,
almost a year ago. But we did decide to go and see Obsession. For those of you not in the know, Obsession is kind of the latest kind of indie horror thing that has just exploded with word of mouth. Huge post-festival buzz. Very, very, very water coolery social media popping off, blah, blah, blah. And it's also kind of turned that into a little bit of a box office smash. It's looking like it's going to be one of the, like, up there in the conversation with, like, the most profitable films ever versus budget. It's made for less than $1 million, closing in on 100 million box office. And I will say, of all the movies of this ilk for the last couple of years, the aforementioned Long Legs, what are some other ones?
Companion, Hereditary.
Why? Yeah. I'm trying to think of something. I was tossing them over in my head before doing this podcast. Like, what are some of the other? You have to go see this. All the buzz from the festivals. Long Legs is my go-to. I think Long Legs is my go-to because I did like it, but I think the hype around it was just insurmountable. If that makes sense. Like, I remember seeing Long Legs. This is really good. It was, but it was good, but it was just kind of like I was really like, I'm gonna shit my pants.
I felt the same as I know everyone else.
That was the other. Thank you. That was the other one because you like that. Really good film, very well made. Really like Zach Cregger. Liked Barbarian being another one. Barbarian's way better. Those three films are probably the 10 poles of like really good. I'm glad they got word of mouth. I'm glad original horror from new directors is doing well. But I saw all of them and I was kind of like, it was good, but as these things often do, the hype was a little bit over the top. Obsession, I think, is the most I have genuinely loved a film coming in with that level of hype in I don't know how long, probably since The Substance, and God knows how long before that. Substance kind of cheating as well. That director had already made something that I really liked. That was kind of a known quantity to a certain extent. I absolutely loved Obsession. It would be my number one film of the year on any other year that didn't have Nirvana the band, the show, coming out. It was one of those films where me and the wife left it and we were talking about it the whole way home. I've been thinking about it a lot ever since I saw it. I find it to be genuinely really fascinating to talk about with other people. It is the real deal. I will say that. I think both you lads would really enjoy it. I don't know if you'll enjoy it as much as me necessarily. You may have a long leg situation where you come out of it going, that was really good, but maybe not on the level that Barry liked it. But I was kind of blown away by it. I really was. So for anyone who is not familiar with it, this is it's written and directed by Curry Barker. Listeners to this pod heard me talk about his YouTube films 2 years ago on this pod. But I mean, whatever. Some of us have the ear to the ground. That's fine. This is his first feature thing. And the premise, basically, it's very Twilight Zone-y. It's about this kind of average Joe schlub, kind of nebulously aged, kind of weirdly, kind of teenage, pre-college. They don't specify, kind of high schooly, young college-aged guy who goes into a weird little trinket shop and purchases an item that grants him one wish, and he uses it to wish that one of his best friends who likes him strictly as a friend wishes that she was in love with him because he's harboring feelings for her and he's too cowardly basically to talk about them with her. So instead he just wishes that she is in love with him, and it kind of goes from there. That's your premise. As you might imagine, it goes south from there. It does not go as he is planned.
Monkey paw.
It is one of many. The monkey paw trope is in vogue big time right now.
Yeah.
Talk to Me, another good example. And Talk to Me, actually, another good example as well of what I was talking about with the buzzy, you have to go see this indie horror thing that I ended up seeing, and I was like, yeah, it's really good, but didn't knock my socks off. But yes, Monkey Paw so in right now. This genre of horror film that's just the tweet of me sowing, haha, this is great, me reaping, well, this fucking sucks. What the fuck? So Obsession is, and I wouldn't really say too much. I would say people go in cold to this. There's your premise. There's your Twilight Zone fucking elevator pitch. I would say go in completely cold on that. Don't see a trailer. Don't see anything at all like that, and just check it out. It is, I think, elevated by a number of different things. I think the two big things coming out of it are that the premise is incredibly strong, and even though I would describe it as Twilight Zone-y, there are layers to it that you will probably be tossing over in your head for quite a while after you see it. And I think the other big thing coming out of it is the lead performance by Indy Navarrete, who is the main girl. She's the subject of the wish, and she gives just this out of this world performance in this film. She's been in a couple of things here and there over the years. I think she's mainly been a television actress, predominantly. I think this might be her first film, or certainly her big noteworthy film. I mean, this is a name. Get ready now. This is the one that the horror fans are going to be complaining about come award season. All right, it's going to be Toni Collette in Hereditary. It's going to be Lupita Nyong'o in Us. It's going to be, when this film gets passed over for awards, because I think it will, because I don't think it's going to be embraced by any of the major awards. It's going to be the new thing the horror fans complain about. And I will say, justifiably, I would say it's one of my favorite performances in a film in God knows how long. She's absolutely spectacular in the film, as is the whole cast. The whole cast completely unknown to me, and I'm fairly sure just generally unknown. Real crew of young new actors, a very fresh sense of direction. It's genuinely scary, I suppose, is probably the other thing I would say as well. It's got a lot of great ideas in it. It's got a lot of great concepts in it. It is legitimately very, very scary. I think it is quite unnerving. It's not overly grotesque for those who are concerned about it. It's actually a 16, which I was kind of surprised by. I just kind of assume all these horrors are like 18s, but it's not. It is a 16 if you're in this part of the world. And it has just a very, very, very sleek style. There are scenes, some of the most terrifying and notable scenes in this reminded me a little bit of The Babadook, which of course we love on this pod. It is a little bit of that. It is things looking slightly off kilter, not being just recognizable as what they're supposed to be, but not quite what they're supposed to be. Very much that vibe. And the thing I think that's even being a little bit underrated about this film, because so much of the conversation is being around like this incredibly young director and this incredibly young cast who are all great. I think you also have a phenomenal score on this. I think both of you guys will love this score. This score is like 3/4 of a navel-gazy rom-com score. It's kind of ethereal, and it's, if you were to listen to it out of context, you would almost assume it's kind of an indie romance soundtrack. And there's just a sting in the tail of the music, much like this is obviously not an actual love story. This is a fairly straightforward horror movie. I loved this. Like I said, on a year where it didn't have to compete with Nirvana, the band, the show, it would be number one with a bullet for my favorite film of the year. I obviously took a chance going to see it in the cinema because I didn't want to have it spoiled or just see fucking shaky cam clips on social media and have all the fun stuff ruined about it. I had a very pleasant experience at the cinema. This is another one of those things I think I talked about a while back where smaller film, so it's on a smaller screen. And in my local cinema, the smaller screens are also the ones where it's all couches, right? No normal seats. So it's kind of like, if you want to see this film, you have to go to the screen. If you're going to the screen, your tickets are more expensive because you are going into a posh screen. It's kind of a weird double-edged sword where it's like, this film is small, so it goes in the small screen, but also it's kind of freebie on me because we put the fancy seats there. I think that's a great dichotomy. People are less inclined to spend that money and flip around on their phone, I have found. They will maybe go on the cheap day of the week and spend the $5 to be on FaceTime the whole way through the Mandalab and Blorko. Okay, I think they might do that. I think they might go to the Mindamin and Grongi and scroll Polymarket and just bet on shit instead of watching the movie. I think they might do that just to be in out of the cold. But they probably won't spend 12 quid to sit on a couch. So movies like this are in the sweet spot. But also, this was classic. You're going to the cinema, you're seeing a horror movie, it has buzz. Everyone is shrieking and yiping, and the movie's darkly comedic as well. At certain points, they are laughing, they are wincing. You can hear people, moving around in their seat. It was great. It was the primo horror experience, and people were well behaved. So yeah, I don't want to, tying back into our long legs conversations of I don't want to overhype this. I don't want people to go in with these gigantic expectations and not meet them. But I have to say, this was a rare instance of seeing a film like this and actually coming out and going, wow. Me and the wife have been talking about it. We saw it on Friday and we were talking about it all the time. Basically, I think we've discussed it at least once a day, including earlier today since we saw it. So I think both you boys should go see it, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That's it for me. A couple of other things out I want to see, but including some of the ones you're going to talk about, Joe.
About movies. Last night I went to see The Devil Wears Prada 2, which I've been wanting to see. Absolutely love the original. It's one of those films I've watched 20, 30 times. Can always rewatch it. It's a very, just a very perfectly made film. This one come in, what is it, 20 years later?
20-ish, yeah, 20, I think 20.
It's about 30% legacy sequel slop, I would say.
Okay.
Especially the first half an hour, I was sitting there going, this is going to be a long night. This is 2 hours. This is going to be long, because it's just really written by a 12-year-old. Some of the first few scenes. But then it does pick up. I did think the last hour there were some actual interesting character stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, so obviously the original was, this girl who wants to be a journalist ends up working at basically Vogue, or in the movie it's Runway. Real life is Vogue, run by Anna Wintour, a very thinly veiled version of that. So she's a kind of fish out of water. She doesn't know how to dress, but she kind of overcomes that and impresses everyone, and kind of loses herself a little bit, and then pulls it back and edit it out. And she goes off to become a journalist. This was 2008, so you could still, get a job as a journalist then.
In a magazine, in a building.
They still had publications in 2008. Now they just give magazines away for free. It's like, do you want 12 issues for £1? Yeah, go on then. Thank you, Wired. So fast forward to the current day. Obviously, they do acknowledge that basically Vogue is now kind of irrelevant, at least as a magazine. It's all content and online stuff and social media. Miranda, played by Meryl Streep, is still in charge. A very convoluted manner. Andy, played by Anne Hathaway, ends up back at the magazine. It's like a Super Bowl ad, the way the first few scenes, one of those, we're going to get these guys back together for a fucking advertise, Polymarket with Devil Wears Prada. But then, after it kind of settles into it, it does have some interesting kind of things to say, I think, about journalism and, the kind of world we live in now, where basically you either chase clicks in kind of desperation, or you rely on a rich benefactor to kind of just fund, doing proper journalism. That's all that's really left. There is no profitable kind of journalism left, maybe the New York Times and a couple of others. There's nothing outside of that. There is no money in journalism. There's no profit made. Even in the fashion industry, it kind of talks about that as well, about how, things have changed so much. So in some ways, it's kind of that's very interesting and realistic. It's also a bit depressing because in the first one, the whole thing is fashion and glamour. And it's you're entering this amazing world of fashion. And it's kind of, it's aspirational. Whereas you don't get that in this one. So it's almost just a bit more depressing. So if you just want to enjoy a frothy movie, it's you're kind of dealing with the death of journalism rather than the aspiration of going to work for a big fashion magazine. Some of it feels, as usual with sequels, it tries to recapture the magic in certain ways. It doesn't work. Other ways it kind of works. But generally, I think we left kind of feeling satisfied at the story it told. And just kind of, rolling your eyes at the Easter eggs of it's the cerulean blue jumper that she wore in that scene from the first one, and now she's wearing it again. Oh, that's funny.
Was there a young
jumper? Is it in New Japan?
Was there a young cast they tried to get over for
yes?
Wait, is there really? Oh, no.
There's a young cast, but they give them nothing.
Okay,
they are just there.
I don't want them there.
It's it's so shoe. None of the new characters have any personality or edge to them. It's just shite. Kenneth Branagh is in this movie playing Meryl Streep's husband in the funniest piece of casting. You got like Shakespearean actor / director Kenneth Branagh, and he plays like the kind of put upon husband of Meryl Streep. It's very funny. Yeah, I would watch it. I wouldn't say you got to go and rush out and watch it. I mean, it's made like 600 million. Obviously, it's been very popular. It was fun, but it could have been a lot better, I would say. But yeah, it was all right. Watched that, and then today watched a documentary. I've got Amazon Prime for a month to watch The Boys. So watched finally I Like Me, the John Candy documentary.
Yes. Yeah.
Directed by Colin Hanks. It is a very, very nice documentary. It's kind of what you'd expect. I mean, there's nothing kind of crazy about it. It's basically, do you like John Candy? Would you like to kind of learn a bit about his life and see all of his kind of friends and family reminiscing? I'd say with documentaries like that, sometimes you watch a documentary that's just like overly kind of positive about someone and you think, oh, well, they haven't really like gone into, the depth or anything. I think with this, John Candy was just a really nice man. And like, there was not really any dirt to dig up on him.
Right.
He was just kind of loved by everyone and he was very good at what he did. A very nice man. They get into like his, he had mental health issues, like a lot of actors probably do, with anxiety and depression and his weight and stuff like that. They do get into that, but it wasn't never like too dark. Like it's kind of fairly kind of manageable stuff. But it was very sad because clearly all these people that loved him, and he was such a great actor, great comedy actor with great kind of empathy as well. And I really love John Candy. He was in like all my favorite films growing up. He was just fantastic. So I'd check that out. If you're on the Prime tip, check out I Like Me while you've got access, because it's a very, very nice movie.
Lovely.
Alrighty, how about you, Paul?
Oh, good recommendations here that I'm going to have to check out. I've actually never seen the first demo.
Yeah, neither have I. I hate to reveal that on air. I know that's scandalous.
I'll say how it is. But I watched a very good horror adjacent movie, and I watched also a really, really beautiful movie. It's going to be a tricky one because one of those movies where, like you said about Obsession Bear, where you're like, the best way is just to go in blind.
Yes.
Because I had such a great moment as I was watching it where it kind of clicked what it was about and what was happening. And it's one of the most beautiful movies I've watched in a very long time.
Oh.
So I'll talk about that first. Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Mandalorian and Grunt. You knew that was it. No, but honestly,
no, Grogan, don't press the button.
But everything I said is totally legitimate. It's a movie it's a short movie that just released on Vimeo a few days ago. Rented it out for €4.
Okay.
For Don Hertzfeldt, who's you probably heard me talk about Don Hertzfeldt on this before.
On this pod.
The man who made World of Tomorrow, Part 1, 2, and 3, and It's Such a Beautiful Day, and he's a really, really wonderful filmmaker. And this, I went in blind, and a lot of his movies are really creative, but are done in a really simplistic art style. So it's just like stickman walking around, but he's telling a movie with the complexity of something like Inception and Interstellar in one. Like it's really, really effective. And so this movie, I'm thinking this would be another little stickman movie and also the movie's very funny as well as being super creative. And again, some of them are really, really high concept sci-fi done in the most creative way. And so I was expecting that from this, and it is not a stickman movie. It is something completely different, and it really took my breath away. It was really, really amazing. And again, I'll say no more than that, which I know is annoying because when you want to recommend something to somebody, you almost
especially if it's short though. Yeah,
it's like not like 10 minutes long.
Okay, yeah. I can understand not wanting to give the game away.
But then the problem is when you recommend something to somebody and can't even give them an in, then a lot of times people are not going to check it out. But it's a really, really wonderful short that is about life. We'll say no more than that, but it's really, really top notch. I went to full 5 on that.
Wow, I'm gonna rent this. I'm gonna rent this for next week's show.
It's really, really, really lovely. So check it out. If any listener gets a chance, if you've got €4 John Grand in your pocket, and you've got, I think it's 14 minutes.
Okay.
It didn't feel like it, but I think when I opened the file, I think it was 14. Really amazing. Really, really great. Is it his best movie ever? My initial reaction was yes, but I do love those World of Tomorrow movies a lot. So, but it was really, really, really great. And then I watched Mother Mary, the latest from David Lowery.
Yes. I'm curious what you made of this.
The Green Knight and Eaton's Dragon, which I've not seen. That's the one main one of his I've still not seen. He did Peter and Wendy, which I wasn't super hot on. A Ghost Story, of course. And so this, I would say, is, if you thought Ghost Story was inscrutable, I think this is even more so.
Okay.
But it's a, tell you what, it is a fantastic looking movie, and it's a fantastic sounding movie as well. So it's a disservice to explain what the movie is about, because it's one of those movies not really about what it's about on the surface level, in a sense. Like, there's so much more to it in terms of the visuals and the otherworldliness of what's going on in terms of the plot. But what the plot is, which makes it sound like the most humdrum movie, is Anne Hathaway, who I'm going to throw out, one of the most underrated currently working actors. I think she's always phenomenal.
Yes.
I think Anne Hathaway is just fucking great. I don't know how she is in Devil Wears Prada 2, but when she's in a movie with some, good screenplay to chew on, I think she's fucking great. And surprise, surprise, she's really, really great here. But she plays a Lady Gaga style high concept pop star who visits her dressmaker of the past, who she's fallen out with, and as a last resort, she visits her in an English countryside manor, with a request for her to make a dress for her. And that sounds very straightforward, right? But again, this is a horror for all intents and purposes, and so it does get very nightmare-y.
Okay.
It does get very out there. There were times in almost a Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me way, or like a Mulholland Drive way, where there were definitely moments in the movie where I was like Homer Simpson watching the man dance with the horse, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but the visuals, like I say, the visuals are really arresting, and it's just described as a horror musical, but it's only musical in the sense of in between scenes it'll cut to Hathaway on stage performing sort of like I said, it's a stripped down industrial pop. That again really only adds to the kind of feeling of uneasiness throughout the movie, and the movie does go in kind of really strange directions. I think it's certainly not one of those movies where it kind of lets me down at the end, and I really hated the ending, but I do think the first half was really strong, and then I thought the second half was pretty good. There's really only those two characters. It's Hathaway's pop star and the dressmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really, just the two of them together talking for most of the movie and experiencing things as they happen, and say no more than that. But I did think it was very good. It's a difficult recommendation because, like I said, it is very inscrutable and obtuse. It's one of those movies that's maybe a little bit more metaphorical, or I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's quite a difficult movie to.
Lowery kind of has two speeds, really, which is like making a children's film or a film like this. Like, those are kind of the two types of things he did.
That's the thing, is if you've seen Ghost Story, you'll have a feeling for the kind of direction that this goes in. It's not quite Ghost Story, but it's not a million miles away from that ball. But I did enjoy it.
I loved Ghost Story, and I ended up liking Green Knight, but I was watching Green Knight feeling like I just feel like there's an element of this that's just going completely over my head, even though I do like it. Like, it's just, I'm very curious about this. I think you've encouraged me a little bit. I'm definitely going to try and check it out.
Yeah, I did like it, but I mean, it's one of those movies where 2/3 of the way through, you would just have to make a decision, just go along with the vibes. Because if you're trying to piece together the literal plot as it goes, you're going to tie yourself up in knots.
Okay.
But a very good one. Tell me about The Boys. All I've been hearing as someone who doesn't watch The Boys is that this last season they'd be great.
Yeah, Joe, what's the vibe? How you feeling? It finished this week, obviously, but I'll let you go first.
I just got to the episode where Seth Rogen and McLovin appear.
Right.
So that's where that's where my mind is at the minute. That was not very funny.
No, it was not.
I think so far there's been kind of one bit of the show which I thought was interesting, which is Firecracker, who's the kind of Fox News anchor type soup, who's kind of a Megyn Kelly type. She's just, the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
She meets with her reverend from her kind of small southern town, and he's like begging her for help because, what they call, whatever the fucking company's got, they're taking over. They're starting their own church, and it's ruining all of these churches. She's asking for help, and he's like, I don't know what I can do. I'll try and help you. And then she basically like turns on him and buries him as like a pedophile on the news, but with like extreme regret. And I thought that was like the most interesting character moment, the only interesting character moment in the series so far, to be honest. Other than that, do you like the butcher saying cunt a lot? That happens. Yeah, a lot of smashy, punchy stuff. Probably some knobs. I was sort of, not only was I not watching it because I was looking at my phone, I wasn't even really listening to a lot of it, in all honesty. Just trying to kind of finish it off so I can see what happens. I think people are upset.
TV show. I didn't watch it and I didn't listen to it.
I know. Normally I some shows I'll just like listen to them and look up occasionally. This I'm not even listening. Yeah, people are very upset about it, but for me, like, it was never like some great show. This is not The Sopranos or Mad Men.
No, of course not.
It was very, very entertaining. I think in the first couple of seasons, a lot of very entertaining and some interesting kind of satire or like funny moments. Like I did genuinely really like it. At this point, it's like, who gives a fuck? People get so like caught up in like, it's just a silly show on the telly. You know what I mean? Like, this is not art. It's just a show of like big cocks and superheroes and a man saying cunt in a British Australian accent over.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Oh, worst he's ever had. It's, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been I've kind of never really, I've enjoyed the show a lot in the past. I've never really gravitated to the characters much at all. I've like, especially the core cast of The Boys. Never really liked Frenchie. Huey's annoying. It's not really what I come to the show for. So yeah, the finale, aired. It was pretty boring. I mean, it was pretty without spoiling, obviously. I think the 2 or 3 main characters, kind of like a wrestling match, they kind of go the predictable route. Predictable's not bad, so I think most of the people end up about where you'd expect the characters to end up. So you could say that in a positive sense, but it all gets there in a very flat, uninteresting way. When it's all said and done, like I think I mentioned last week, Joe, you're right in the middle of the season now, where the characters are all chasing this V1, and it's the most important thing. It just makes no difference. I mean, it's just, you look back, when you watch the final episode, you go, what was half that season about?
Yeah, and I don't remember the previous seasons either. I only have vague memories. Because there's an episode, I think it was the 3rd or 4th, where they kill Soldier Boy with the V1. And then I missed the bit at the end where he resurrects. And so the next episode, he turns up. I'm like, oh, they just killed him, didn't they? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is that in order?
Yeah, it's very, when it was all said and done, I very unfair of me, but I did compare it to Breaking Bad last week, which is unfair. I would admit is unfair, but it so does not feel like there's like this through line, and this season is like this finely crafted thing where it's like they spend half the season faffing around, looking for this, hiding from this. It's just, it feels like by the time you watch the last episode, it's like, okay, everything in that middle was I would also say, the Soldier Boy stuff feels incredibly cynical because the last thing that's still going from this franchise is they're doing a show with him, a flashback show with him. And so it kind of feels like he arbitrarily shows up in the middle of this season. And again, I won't say anything for sure, but doesn't wrap up in any kind of interesting way at all. So it does kind of feel like they were like, this guy has to be majorly featured in the middle of this season because he's the last thing that we're going to do anything with from this franchise. So all said and done, I mean, it's whatever. I will also say that it definitely feels like the budget got completely slashed for this season for whatever reason. I don't know why. I was watching old clips of the show before, and it was just kind of like, the amount of like scenes of them like out in public and the famous scene where Butcher's looking at him at the race, like everyone else is facing one way and Butcher's turning around, like really memorable scene. None of that, nothing. Like they pretty much just seem to alternate between the shitty little hideout that the boys are in, Vought Tower, and that's it. Those are the two sets they had for this season, it feels like. And there's multiple scenes in the last 2 episodes where they have like crowd reaction shots, and it's like it's like 20 people sitting in an auditorium watching a screen, and I'm just kind of like, man, what? Didn't this show isn't this show like a huge success? What happened? But yeah, I'll be curious. We'll talk more about the finale once you've seen it, I guess. But yeah, that's the boys for you.
Good stuff.
Get excited. I tell you what is a show worth watching is Hacks. I finished season 1 of Hacks with Gene Smart and Hannah Einbender, and that is a great show. Joe, have you watched any of that show?
No, not yet. It's one like we would like to go and watch. But
I think both of you guys like it. I thought you would watch it. I think Michelle would like it as well. I think it's very funny, very up your street, very sharp, very, very sharp writing. Some good laughs, some great characters, some really great characters. The way they bounce off each other is very, very satisfying. So 2 thumbs up for that one. Obviously, I know I'm very late on that one. That's a highly touted show. But there you go. That's the telly for me. Paul, how's the gaming going for you this week?
The game is going good. So I was talking the other week about Captain Toad. Yeah. And I'm the best. And then I beat Captain Toad Part 1, and then Toad 2 begins. So it's 2 games in one. And you say you're playing as Toadette, and the levels are a bit harder. We got to the end of Captain Toad 2 as Toadette. What fucking happens? She gets kidnapped on your Captain Toad game. Captain Toad 3 begins. So I'm playing Captain Toad 3 now. I didn't realize that the game had 3 games in it. But it's very funny in how little effort was put into that story. So, she gets kidnapped, now you're Toad again. Still great. Still really enjoying it. Should have it finished this week. Perfect game for just picking up and playing 2 or 3 levels. But challenging in a fun way. I mean, the levels are just little cubes, and it's just walk around, collect 3 gems, get the star at the end, and then there's always a hidden little Where's Wally style objective. One I mentioned one was like don't kill the enemies, which meant that your platforming had to be super specific. There was another one where there's seesaws, and you need to stand on a seesaw, and the big bad guy throws a spiked ball, and it lands on the seesaw and shoots you up and lands on his head, and you kill him. And there's like 4 of those in the level, so you have to jump up and up, like the verticality of the level, jump on these lads' heads. Then you beat the level, and it says, beat the level without killing any of those guys. So you have to be creative in terms of, okay, I can't get up the platforms by him throwing the ball and me landing on his head. I need to think of a different way to do it. I need to stop him from throwing the ball, arc the seesaw myself, run up quickly, dodge around him, and do that. So it's not necessarily the platform is more difficult or more accurate, but you have to think about how to attack the level as well, which is really, really smart. And then I have my pre-order in for old Seamus Bondy. Yes, surely. Now I know the smart thing would have been to wait for the reviews, but I feel like IO Interactive have enough goodwill with me. I'll fucking pre-order your game. You know what? I'll do it. So I do have it pre-ordered. It will be here whenever it's here. You know what? Even if it gets like a 7 or an 8 or whatever, I don't care. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah.
Whatever mix of Uncharted, Hitman, whatever it is, Hopefully it's just a good time. I'm looking forward to even the little bit of Hitman that it might include. I'm looking forward to getting back into that style of gameplay. So I do have it pre-ordered again. Fingers crossed. My expectations, if I was to guess, I would imagine it's probably gonna be in the 84-ish on Open Critic. Let's say.
I think that's a good. I'm similar ballpark.
Which I would be absolutely happy with. If it's a little bit lower, if it's a little bit higher, whatever. I'm going to play it either way. So that's coming. Hopefully, again, I think the reviews might drop tomorrow or the day after, so we will see. And then the other one that I haven't had a chance to play yet, but it's in the house, and maybe after Bond, it'll be the next thing I get my hands on, is Lego Batman.
Oh, very nice. Yes, I'm very excited about that.
Which it did come out that Rocksteady had some involvement in the itself, I believe, which that has me excited. And I've heard so far that it is very fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, I'm watching the Batman animated series as well, so that gives a little bit extra excitement to it. What about yourself? Played anything interesting lately?
No, not at all. No. Still playing Yote. That's my main thing. I'm kind of sticking with that. I will probably keep chipping away at that until Bond rolls around. Still really loving it. Yeah, no real notes on it, but that's kind of it. Yeah. On stream I'm playing Sly Cooper, which I've never played before.
Yeah.
It's very early PS2, so it's flawed, but it's cool. I feel like I'll probably love the sequels. I like the original game. I'm enjoying it well enough. It has stupid vehicle segments that I hate. But I'm liking it. I'm looking forward to playing the sequels, though. I feel like they will iterate on it quite well. 2 Sucker Punch games, obviously. And Yote. That's really it. The countdown to Bond is on. I haven't pre-ordered it, but I feel like I'll probably, if the reviews are halfway, I'm trying to get out of pre-ordering. I still do, but I'm trying not to do it as much. If the reviews are halfway decent, I'll probably grab it. They're out tomorrow morning, obviously. No other games for me for the week. So I think we will wrap it up there, folks. This big edition of CSP. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to email us if you have a take on Double or Nothing or the Fantasy League or a movie or a game you're playing or a TV show you watch or book you read. You can reach out to us there. It's also where you can go to check out the Fantasy League in real time. Paul does a great job. Is there someone you think we're overlooking? Is there a free agent you'd be grabbing? Please do let us know. Please tell Paul in particular. Don't email that to Joe. Don't email that to Joe. He doesn't need that. And weigh in on Oney Lorcannect. Let us know what you think of this week's proceeding. Oh my God! Well, I mean, one of those works where I'm like, what is the person downloading that's going to think when they look Oh, Blorko. Anyway, folks will be back this coming weekend. Although it's a banker here in Ireland, maybe it might be another delay. We'll report back. We'll be out in some capacity next week with another show. Until then, it's goodbye from me, Barry. Goodbye from Paul. Goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.